Hello, hello. Hey, Chef Alton. Hey, Bokanon. What is... Oh, weird. Okay. Sorry, my windows are messed up. Give me one sec. All right, there we go. Yeah, hello, hello. So it is Monday. We are going to do our usual Monday stuff, but we have this document. Actually, weird. Okay. It said 13 pages. It said 13 pages because I was apparently in half the window size I normally am. It doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we're going to keep track of this, the number of characters. So I don't care about the whole 13-page document thing, but this is the starting point. And at the end of each day, we're going to track how many we got done with. In fact, let's just write it in the journal right now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, so Skeleseller working through the like challenge mode to do document. Started with, how is this pasting such that's weird. Started that many characters, ended with blank, 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 blank. Nice. Yeah, so I'll have to fill that out later. Hey, Blair. Notes are a place to do. I think you need a dot star in there. You'll just still have all the items. Hey, Matt. Didn't get a chance to play the new Bone Mode. Hoping today. Yeah, I think it's in good shape. And that's why we're just going to do the rest of the to-do list. So there were two ways this could have gone. One is that feedback isn't great. And in that case, it's back to the drawing board. And if the feedback, I mean, great is maybe sugarcoating a little bit, but then it's back to the working board. So it's either we're doing design or we're doing the actual work. So the feedback was, I wouldn't say great. I mean, I think it's good. And that means that we're going to do this. But there was no chance where we were like, all right, we're moving on beyond challenge mode. There were still things we had to do. Anyway, I hope everyone had a good weekend. And I am going to try to pretty much, I've mentioned this before. There's a bunch of stuff on the to-do list, and it's difficult to stay focused on it for days at a time. So I'm going to try to focus on taking breaks, and we'll just get through whatever we can. Yeah. Okay, so here were the tenets that we had. Sustainability. How did last week go? I think it ended up kind of being okay. Let me take a look at this. Oh, wait. What am I looking at? This was the week. From the 6th. Oh, I published a demo. Oh my God. I'm like, this can't be a Monday because I don't publish on Mondays, but it's the demo because I got something else done. Yeah, I started redesigning the treasure system, treasure room, treasure room, treasure room. Yeah. All right. So sustainability. What do we write for this? I don't recall any oddities from the last week. I think it had been hard to stay motivated, but I'm grateful that I took the time on Friday to cut through my to-do list. Yeah, it feels less overwhelming now, and we're going to start tackling the rest of it today. So bricklaying, this is going to become a very important tenet in the next week. Hey, Strawn. Hey, Krasner. Happy Monday. Bricks and Breaks. It's a good name for a stream title. I'm stealing that. Everyone saw it, right? Adam Learns Live typed that message first. I don't see any messages from Chef Alton in chat. Wife is recovering well from surgery. Glad to hear it. Yeah. My weekend was extremely unmemorable. I think for me, Saturday, what did I do? It was some games and relaxation. And then I went to Kevin's place to see his new kittens. And then on Sunday, I was a productive beast. And then I also had some relaxation in there. I got done with so many like little things. It's all sorts of different stuff. There were like household chores, personal things I needed to do, emails I needed to follow up on. Like I watched some Skeleseller videos in that time, which would normally be fun, but I need to write down notes as I'm watching them, so I can't just relax. Presented by Mr. Learns. I think brought to you by Mr. Learns, presented by Mr. Learns. But he seems fond of Chef Alden. Something like that. All right, this is going to become a very important tenet of the next week. We have a lot of to-do stuff to get through, and it's no longer new territory. And then not wasting the opportunity. I think I need to change my attitude about this stuff a bit. I'm constantly torn on this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And yet I always wonder if I could be doing more. I think if it were possible, it would come down to how exactly I do the work. Going to the library has been pretty good, but I don't do it more than once a week. Yeah, I was wondering, hey Xyletics, good morning. I was wondering, so we have a library nearby, and I've kind of mentioned this. I go to just sort of do work on my laptop, but I don't need it to be at the library, and I don't talk to anyone while I'm there. So it's just a shared space for me to do work. I'm not looking at books, I'm not doing anything else, whatever. I wonder, what if I went like daily for an hour? What would happen? And what I suspect would happen, like I can be productive there for about an hour. Then I start getting kind of bored of the work that I'm doing because there's only so much stuff I can do there. I'm not like coding there or anything. I think what would happen is I would start slacking before that so that I could be productive at the library and be like, this was a success. And it reminds me of that saying, it's something along the lines of, you will optimize for whatever metrics you have. So I don't think it'd be a good idea. Does this with her school, it helps a ton. Yeah, I think it helps me with a very particular kind of work, which is like when to-do lists get out of control. So basically the work I did on Friday on stream, I would do at a library. Books a room there, works for 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Man, I had such a bizarre experience on both Friday and Saturday. First, let's start with the mundane experience. I was stuck in a line waiting for something to open. Wow, I typed that with all of the typos. And that is pretty normal. I was at the DMV on Friday, and then I was just waiting for Costco to open on Saturday. But the weird thing is, and it sounds kind of silly, but like I felt a sense of unity with the other people in the line. It's like, how often do you wait in a line for something to open nowadays? Like you probably don't show up exactly when something opens, and if you do, it's probably doesn't have a line outside of it. It's just such a bizarre thing. Anyway, I sense that that's indicating that like something's wrong with the rest of the setup in my life, that I need to be, I need some sort of like group purpose more than I have a very defined personal purpose. I went to the local library in my village the other day to see what's up. The gate was closed and it had a handwritten note on it saying library closed due to no electricity. Oh, that's pretty nice of them to put a note up. All right, so we're going to take breaks today, and the focus of today is just going to be to work through this list. Now, unfortunately, we are going to add some things to that list, so let's go get started on that, and then we'll just start doing some work. Figure out how to get people to spend. Oh, I think I have a thing about this. I might not have written it as upgrade points. No, maybe meta points? Perk points? There's a problem with calling this like 7 different things. No, it's not on here at all. Man, what? Maybe perk dash point? That shows up in one spot. Nope, that's not it. And then the only other thing I can think is meta perk. Yes, there it is. This. Keyword upgrade points, perk points. Yeah, so this is already being tracked. And I'll just write here, at least 2 playtesters hit this issue. Idle, Prinz, and Mars. Okay. Do you want to be my friend? No, it's not even like that. Like, I don't want to talk to the people. I was thinking about what are shared purposes in life, and it's like any sort of teamwork. It's honestly, it's things like religion. It's things like any community event that you might do. It There's a bunch of them, right? You could, yeah, just using, okay, yeah. Anyway, I was just thinking things have changed a lot, and I think a lot of this comes down to the lack of a third place as well. For those who haven't heard of this, it's like your first place is home, your workplace is your second place, and then a third place would be just some hangout spot. And not as many people have these anymore, but it used to be very common. I wonder how many of you have third places. You create some sense of group unity in the real world? No. So chat is good for, in my mind, it's like social, but then there's the purpose stuff. I don't think chat would provide purpose for people, but I like chatting with people here. I think that's nice. All right, QMM feedback. I'm gonna put this here. I don't know where we even write this, so I guess just here. Man, I really got to fix this keyboard. I have a note to clean it, and I just haven't cleaned it. They don't save. Okay, so yeah. Mars feedback. I just want to organize this list so that we can just go from top to bottom. Unfortunately, that means that this is growing. Be nice if there was a way to just search in a tab. What is this? Tip system? Here we go. All right, and the meta upgrades are anchored incorrectly. Okay, there we go. Hey, Galaxy Inferno, saved it there. What's that about? I had so many third places when I was in high school, and then 0 from then on. Huh. I wonder if I've ever had a third place. I feel like I haven't, probably. Yeah. Had an on and off throughout my life, never consistent. Maybe that's normal. Maybe I need to join a Rotary Club. You do like talking to us, even though we don't provide purpose. Oh, okay. I'm not trying to butter chat up, by the way. That's actually how I feel. I think it'd be kind of weird if you got purpose through chat. Maybe if you're doing some sort of like therapy show or mentoring or something like that. But that's like, I don't do the mentoring stuff often enough. All right, so let's start this. I should probably make a new branch. But meta upgrades are anchored incorrectly. People have them off the screen. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what to do about this. I wonder if I can repro it. All it is clicking this button. This sometimes shows up in a weird spot for people. Oh, that proves it. Okay, so that's probably what's causing this problem for people. I wonder if I were to shrink this, if this would still be like super obvious. What happens? Yeah. This is just clearly broken. And if I open this again, yeah, it's in the wrong spot. Okay, so then we can take a look at that. Never a physical location thing about it, more like a third place based on a hobby. That's what I was kind of thinking too. Like I played Smash a lot, but it wasn't really at a different place. It's mostly just having people over. But it felt kind of like a third place because your mindset is different while you're in that place. You know, it's sort of like I've heard people say if you're going to study or if you're going to do some kind of work or you just want to be productive in general, to change your environment somehow. And for some people, this means like go to a different room. And for people who might not have another room, it's just like turn on a special light or something like that. Like you have a lamp and that's your productivity lamp. And every time you have that on, it's like time to be productive. And that's it. That's the change to your environment. And I think it is kind of powerful. It's like get you out of whatever groove you're in, but it still involves some amount of self-control. So we launched this through here. Actually, I should make a new branch first. I think I already mentioned that. Git checkout dash B. Let's just make improve challenge mode 14. Why not? Right click to unbuy the perks. Yes. That is, when you say perks, if you're talking about these upgrades, yes, that is planned. Body double for studying, saying this loudly so one of my kids will hear it. Yeah, I think that is really important. ABC. Careful not to drool when you turn on that lamp. Is this a reference I don't understand? So this is anchored somehow. I do not know how. Or rather, maybe it's a tab container that's anchored incorrectly. Does this have just random nodes set in the transform? No, it's just set to full rectangle. Wonder what the problem is then. Is this set wrong? Oh, it does have a position of 320, 165, so that must be what that is. And it's just happened to work on my screen. Well, that's pretty stupid. All right, well, how do we fix this? Because we've done this before. Panel tab container. I think there's a max size container in here. Is that what I need to do for this too, I wonder? Because it's a control, then a max size, then a control. And I have a control and then just another control. So I would need a max size above this, I guess. And this has a thing, max size container. And then we set this to 1280 by 800. Okay, I guess I'll try it. Max size container. And we put that here, and we put that here. And we set this to the same things that we set this to, 12. Can I just copy this? And then this control doesn't have anything special about it. Why does that even exist? Why does this exist? Oh, because you need one child for this. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, like a Pavlovian response? Okay. Yeah. I get it now. When I immediately went to Pixar for some reason in my head and then couldn't make sense of it because isn't there that Pixar lamp? Luxo? Yeah, Luxo Jr. Huh, interesting. I think they're actually like producing these and selling them. It is a pretty iconic lamp. And I do like it in the different colors that they have. All right, so now we should just be fine. Is this looking good? Yes, except that I can't click the background. And I think that's because I need to change the mouse listener on this. Yeah, it has to be set to ignore. Okay, I'm glad I tested that. Because I might have just chalked that up to needing to restart the editor. And then, I mean, you still would have been able to close this in 2 different ways, but it's nice to have it do what it's supposed to do. Well, that's super broken. What am I doing wrong? Is this set to a different anchor or something? I guess a tab container needs to be set to full rectangle. Layout, yeah, full rectangle. Is this set to full rectangle? It is. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What else is customized about this thing? This should not be hard to figure out. And yet here I am struggling. Max size container is here. We set, oh, margins. Oh, okay, I'll just copy paste these into the file that I have here then. So what is this called? Meta tab container? Except for I want the TSTN file. And there's the max size container. There are margins on here, and they are set the same way. But layout mode is set to 1 in the other one. I don't know what that does. Did that fix this? No. I don't know what I'm doing. That automatically to create the max size. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I still don't know what I'm doing. I got to figure out what's different between these two scenes. Yeah, something else must be different. This just has full rectangle and has a size set. Oh, maybe because this doesn't have a size set on it. Yeah, I think this needs the same thing that the max size container has. 1280 by something. What's the something? 800. But now it's not going to be positioned correctly. In here it looks fine. Maybe because this control has a layout. This is also 1280 by 800, but that gets the size from the parent. Strange. It's not even this that I want. It's the upgrades that I want. Oh no, that's just a tab. Did I get it? No, of course not. What am I missing? Full rectangle on that one. This should be already set to that. Is it? It is. Although it does have a transform here. Container sizing, fill and expand. Container sizing here is not set to fill and expand. I don't think that's the issue though. I think it's where this max size container is or what it's set to take up. Yeah, this is set to full rectangle. This is not anymore. And now the max size will kick in? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah, it's going to cover like the whole screen. Good toe. Oh, no, this thing has the wrong size. It got doubled. All right, now it's almost fine. It's still not actually good though. 1280 by 800. Its position is set to like negative there. Huh, okay. I think that'll do it. Yeah, nice. All right, so we should be able to do this at any scale now and have it look good. Yeah, nice. Cool. Should be able to get that size with expand instead of hard coding it. I just want to do what we've done elsewhere for consistency, because I want to do things well enough at first, because I think we're going to have a lot of to-do items to get through them. So I'm going to say that this is done. Why did it change like everything? Oh, because of the hierarchy here changed. So I have to modify every single thing because its ancestry is going to be different. Why does this scale say, oh, maybe I accidentally pressed up somewhere? Can I just delete this? Wouldn't that have caused some like very minor amount of blurriness? I'm glad I looked at the diff. All right, yeah, the rest of the stuff looks fine. Okay, cool. All right, so fix issue with positioning of upgrades. I had positioned it for my screen, so it was off the screen or not centered for other people. This is why, by the way, seeing a video of someone play is really important. Nobody commented on this because, well, sorry, not nobody commented on this. The first people who played didn't comment on it, and then I think Mars commented on it because it was off screen for them. No, it wasn't even them. It was someone else. It doesn't matter. Tyvek, I think. But one of the people who played, they clicked this, and it was just like up here somewhere. So it was still visible and usable, and they were just like, oh, okay. And they just used it. They never commented. But I saw in the video, I'm like, uh-oh, that shouldn't be happening. All right, so this is done. Let's just put our little like archive thing here. So this is finished. I'll just put check marks. Fix issue where QMM covers the treasure chest. Okay, so option 1 here is don't show the quick move menu for keys. Option 2 is to move either key storage or treasure stands. And option 3 is like, I think it's kind of it actually. I don't think there's a better option for this. The thing that's a little bit bizarre is we can't easily move these. What just happened? What just happened? I don't have a story mode save, so I click this and then this and it just started one. Oh, interesting. Okay. Anyway, if I go build this and we go build this and get the quick move menu and then go build the key storage. I should probably move the sign for that too. So yeah, here's the issue. We get some keys. If you're zoomed out, I guess, like look at how large this menu is, or at least appears to be. And that's not even the full like zoom out you can do. You could technically have something like this. And now the menu in terms of just world space is covering quite a lot. So like how far away would you have to move this stuff? I think it's just a quick move menu thing. So I guess we do have a third option, which is like option 3, change the quick move menu somehow. We could add a way to hide it temporarily. The problem is that no one would discover this. Yeah. What do those squares represent? Like they'd snap. Oh, I think it tries to go onto the intersection of the perimeter. Interesting. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm not sure what I want to do for this. This doesn't really work. Well, this doesn't work at all zoom levels, I should say. This doesn't work at all zoom levels. This would be inconsistent with every other item. Thanks, Sleepy Girl. I showed my wife the full kit clip, by the way. The one that you'd taken. Well, that plus a little bit more context. And she was laughing. Because she was there for that conversation. I don't like any of these options. Yeah, I don't like any of these options. I think the best one would be option 2. Whoops, no, sorry. Option 1, just hide the quick move menu for keys. Like, we still make the number 1 work on it. But given that you're almost always going to be dragging it from here to here. Or we hide it just when they're in key storage. We could do that. Yeah. We could just not show it when the keys are in key storage. Yeah, it's nice. It was funny too. To do, create more to do. Yeah, I mean that's if you think about it, that's pretty much what the start of every project is. Oh, hi, Sun Mercury. Okay, I like this idea. Just don't show this when it's in key storage. Let's go figure out how we even do that. Because I haven't looked at this code in a long time. I think it's called the item actions menu. And there it is. And there's a way that we show this. Is VS Code broken? It looks like it is. Because obviously we have something called show right there, but it's not finding it, so I gotta reload this. I'd like to say this happens less often than it used to, at least. I don't mind reloading like once a day. It's still not the best. It'd be ideal to be 0 reloads per day. But if it's gonna happen, better 1 than 7. Yeah, so here we go. And now we look at where this is, probably in player held item. Start holding item. If use action menu. Yeah, so we need to know when you call this because we have a source here. We could figure out if the source is in key storage maybe. I guess we're gonna need to do that somewhere, but we call this in what, 2 spots? One is in pickup item and the other is whatever this is. What is this? On clicked item destination. Okay. Yeah, I think I want to stop this when the source is this. If source. So how do we check this? We got to figure out what the I item sources are. I think we just do comma I item source. Crop item display. Here it is, item display. So we can know that it's an item display, and then we could figure out what the item category is. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. In fact, if we figure out it's an item display, I don't know. It doesn't really matter either way. Yeah. So if source is item display, and item display dot item category dot is key. No. All right, I thought I might have coded that. then don't do anything. Maybe like bool is key storage or source is key storage. Yeah. And then we do here if not source is key storage. And put this stuff there. Okay, so we don't show the menu for key storage specifically because of how close it is to the treasure chest. So it tends to cover the chest. Okay, let's go try that now. What's nice, I don't really ever mind adding code like this where, honestly, this is just constant time anyway. But even if it weren't, it's like this is only done when a user clicks something. And you can only click so fast. So performance-wise, it would pretty much never have been a concern. Did it save my game? It would only have saved if I'd been there for 5 minutes. Yeah, I was there for 5 minutes apparently. Nice. Let's turn this off too before I forget. Okay, now let's take a look. So if I click this, it doesn't show up. But if I put it here, it does show up. And I should still be able to use it. Yeah, nice. Yeah, okay, this is pretty nice. Galaxy Inferno, are you there by any chance? The reason I ask is because I'm pretty sure she reported this. And I think one other person did too. And I'm wondering if this seems like a suitable solution. Because, yeah, now you can just drag keys to here if you want. Anyway, I'll run it by people afterward. But, yep, I like this. Address issue with quick move menu and keys. We now don't show the menu if you are dragging a key specifically from key storage. That way it doesn't cover the treasure chest. Okay, well, we're getting through the list. Feeling pretty good. Buying a battle perk, not even choosing it, will show warnings in the console. Parent path, V-box container for node life bar has vanished when instantiating. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Has vanished? I'm guessing this still happens. Just make a new game and try this out. Yeah. Weird. Why is that happening? Campbell Soup, thanks for the resub. Happy 5/6 of the year. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you're well. Huh. Okay, well, let's go take a look at Battle Perk Party Member then. Battle Perk Party Member. And we want to find what? V-box container for life bar? Is it because it's a different origin container, V-box container? Yeah, this doesn't exist. Huh. I don't understand. Let the motivation find you on this Monday. This sounds like an elvish blessing in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Skeleseller. Thank you, by the way. I really think it helps to set, like, in so many aspects of life, it helps to just set expectations. Like, this will be fun, or this will be slow, or this is going to be the hardest task I've ever done in my life. And then not thrash against those expectations. So every once in a while, you will say, like, this will be a difficult thing. And you might be like, I don't want to do it. But as long as you acknowledge it, your expectations set correctly, you have the right attitude about it, I feel like it becomes much more manageable. So normally, this set of stuff, I would feel like it's getting in the way of other things. Like, okay, I fixed a little bit of a bug. Yeah, it's actually kind of a big bug. But okay, I fixed some bugs. I polished a little bit. But we're not doing the real work. Well, this is the real work. And by saying that it's the real work, it now feels like I'm aligned to what I need to be doing. So I do think that's important. But yeah, solving all these tiny little issues is not going to be simple sometimes. I'm not even sure. There is no margin container here. Oh, there's one. But there's no VBox container within that. I don't know where it's trying to do this. Parent path for node life bar has vanished. Where is this coming from? It's just instantiating this thing. Well, we have a perk with Adventurer. And here's where I call hide life bar. If I just never did this, what would happen? So I'm guessing 1, the life bar would show, and 2, that warning would stop. Let's try it. I should save this. I don't need to keep doing that. So yeah, the life bar is there, and strangely enough, this is still there. That's bizarre. Try reloading Godot. Yeah, let me do that. It feels like it's got a stale scene file or something, but yeah, so this stuff doesn't matter. But it had already reloaded Godot, I thought. So I thought I caused this. Maybe I did indirectly. Maybe this is going to fix it. And this is not the problem, apparently. It's just initializing this thing. Or instantiating it. So far, there should be no issues in the console. I click this. There's still an issue. So reloading didn't fix it, at least. But it's clearly trying to do something it can't. We have a party member in this thing already. Perk choice with Adventure UI. Yeah, here. Oh, maybe it's coming from... There's a margin container, VBox container here. And then the party member inside, and then set via code description. Okay, I see. I see how this works. What I don't see is why is the life bar causing a problem? It's saying this stuff here too. Is it just when I open that scene? Perk choice for the adventure UI. It is. What? So confused by this. Parent path for no life bar has vanished. I see that bug you filed about inherited scenes. I wonder if I have anything written about vanish. The word vanish here. How do we copy a path to this? Copy file path, CDO into that. Oh, it's based on my notes directory. I want the full path. Can I reveal in Finder? Okay, so let's copy a path to that. Good. And then I want to search for the word vanish. It's in Godot engine. Godot engine, vanish. Changing base scenes. The base scene inherits from it looks like this. You can see the % sign. When I'm duplicating this, in my case, I wanted to clean up the nodes with white names so I can match the hierarchy from the base scene. But Godot doesn't know I want that, so it can't make this change automatically. In other cases, like in this issue I filed, Godot may produce a warning about node label is modified, but it has vanished. Well, it certainly sounds like this, but how do we fix this? Is there a life bar in here? There's something I'm still missing. Also, I guess, yeah. So it must be in the parent class. There is no parent beyond this, though. Just margin container, VBox container. But then this has a parent. But this has a lot of parents. Or a lot of ancestors. Not a lot of parents. Huh. Strange. Is it a problem with this scene? Party member base? Life bar. Does it ever... Whoa, right there. Type margin container? Life bar container? Oh, this is the VBox container and the margin container. Oh my God. I'm looking for the words margin container in here without realizing that this was just renamed. Okay. And this wasn't even the right order. It's margin and VBox, so I was doubly confused. All right, so then did something break the inheritance hierarchy we expected for this? This is battle perk party member. Ah, life bar border. I see. Okay. So this has a 9 patch rect that something else doesn't have? Or that something isn't expecting? Yeah. So now where's that? If I search for life bar container, I should be able to find it. That one looks fine. What about this? That's it? That's the only place that shows up? Oh, God. I don't know what's wrong yet. Life bar container, life bar border is as that as a parent, and then life bar has that as a parent. Yeah, that looks fine. And that's the only place this shows. Because the inherited scenes are doing something wrong then? Battle perk party member? Battle perk party member? I'm so used to going to C# files, I don't even think to go to the other thing. Yep, this is it. This is the problem right here. All right. I get it. Okay, we're gonna write a note in this. I'm never gonna mess this up again. In fact, this should probably go into the UI note instead of Godot engine. Like I said, it's kind of in Godot itself. Yeah, similarly, you may see a message like this. So where's the message I got? This was caused because my life bar was supposed to be in this. Well, not supposed to be. My life bar in a scene, in the base scene, was at this path. But in an inherited scene, we tried making the life bar invisible via this path. Here's that path here. To fix this, make sure the path points to the actual scene structure, or the path reflects the actual scene structure. Okay, so this is the problem. Battle perk party member tries setting this to invisible, but it can't do it because it doesn't know the right path through the scene. So battle perk party member, I didn't even need this code here. Where is it? Here. Yeah, I could just hide. I could get rid of hide life bar, which probably this doesn't even need to exist anymore. No, it's used in a bunch of spots. Okay, or we could delete it from here. I guess I'll delete it anyway. And then when we go into this, it's going to reload. And then we just set this to invisible. And now, oh, that's not enough. We need to hide the border. Namespacer.show. Maybe I shouldn't do anything here. Namespacer.show. What is that? Namespacer. Namespacer. There it is. So we just click that and that. It's not quite right either. The life bar, it's a life bar container we want to hide. There we have it. Now I'm cooking. Now I can get rid of this and we're set. So I'm gonna go try this. Yeah. So I just hit continue over here and then we just click the thing and it should be all fine, right? Object disposed exception. That doesn't look good. Okay, well, I don't know what's doing that, but let's click this button. Yeah, nice. And it looks good. And the higher button should work too. Yeah. Hey, Pheromone. I wish you luck. Yeah. So the way I'm going to track it is I'm going to keep track of how many characters I started the day with in that document and then how many I ended the document with. And that way I can get a burn down chart. Although this isn't totally accurate, but I think if I go from just top to bottom and handle everything, it will be more accurate. Normally what I would do is I'd tackle the things that are fun or low-hanging fruit, And then your burn down is going to seem like it's really fast because you're tackling the stuff you actually want to tackle and stuff that's easy. But we're going to tackle hard stuff, just whatever's on the list, basically. We're going to just tackle it that way. Previous line of the wrong path is there from the old scene hierarchy before the PR. So hard to catch. Yeah, I guess this is why I guess it's a bug in Godot engine, basically, that it doesn't tell you about this stuff. But it looks like this has been fixed, and we actually got slightly less code out of it. Well, not really, I suppose, because the scene file would have been different. Now, why does this have an atlas texture here all of a sudden? Because it's local to scene? Okay. Anyway, fixed warning about vanished nodes. We were referring to life bar by the wrong path. We also, excuse me. I didn't even need to hide the life bar via code. We can do it in the scene directly. Probably taking on hard problems because for me it makes the other things a lot easier, at least seemingly. Yeah, I think there are like nested problems where that can be the case, and then there are just like totally unrelated problems. So as an example, let's say the game balance is off. That's not going to make it any easier to work on the UI of the game. This is a hard problem, but it's totally unrelated to this. I suspect there are going to be some hard problems we're encountering here that are just like completely isolated, that we could just save them for later. They won't make anything else easier. But I haven't really looked through the list too much. Well, I guess I did on Friday, but I don't remember a lot of it. All right, so this is done. Move this up here. And we're done with 3 items so far. Also, in working on these items, I expanded them a bit. So it might be like, oh, you fixed half a page already. Not really. I fixed 3 items. All right, clean up the world map. Make pipes from the weapon grinder. Probably don't have keys. Just float through the world and instead get created out of the pipe. Or don't have a pipe at all and have them fly over there. At that point, reversing the image of the weapon grinder may be nice, so that keys shoot out of the left side. Swapping the weapon shop and the armor shop would look really good. I think we should probably do that. So right now in the story mode game, and also in challenge mode, I guess, you build the potion shop here. That I think is going to stay there. And then this is the armor shop and this is the weapon shop. I wonder if we should make the weapon shop be here. Then the armor shop will go over here. One of the problems is that in story mode, we've pretty well balanced everything. And we probably balanced it around this distance between the 2 shops. So like a customer wants to buy an armor and then they want to buy a potion and they just go down to here. But if the shop is way over here and they want to buy a potion afterward, they have to walk all the way across the map. Also that the key grinder can spit keys out over into the warehouse. Yeah, they're the same thing. I just prefer saying challenge mode instead of bone mode because of how stupid it sounds to say 7 times a day. And also a lot of the code still refers to challenge mode, so it's hard for me to keep switching. Man, I do think it's better for the game. So again, to show what the problem is and why I'm even talking about this. The armor shop is here, weapon shop is here, and the weapon grinder is here. So weapons are only ever needed to be brought to this. You either want to grind them up into keys or you want to sell them and you put them here. The problem is that this thing spits out keys. Hang on, let me sell these. Or let me just make a bunch of these things. Yeah, let's speed this up. I want them to get rid of all of the extra keys. Yeah, so here's the problem. The keys fly out of this thing and go like halfway across the map. If we just had the weapon grinder here, I think it would look normal for them to shoot out like 6 tiles. That's not too bad. You might be like, why are keys flying? But you wouldn't wonder why they're defying physics completely and going halfway across the map. Now, if we wanted to, there are other ways we could do this. We could put like a pipe here. We have pipes for the farm and everything. So I click this, there's a pipe going down here to the well, and then there's a pipe going over here to the pond. So we could make a pipe coming out of here that like winds its way over to the key storage. That would also be fine, I think. We can't really move the treasure room. If you were to put that over here, then your adventurers would have to walk way too far to get it to the guild. Although it would work. We have space here. I just don't think it would look... I don't think it would be good for the player. Also, it means that treasure would have to shoot out into the warehouse from way over here. Whereas over here, I think it looks okay. Available in the Roman era, surely. They sure love moving keys around. So is it worth swapping these two things just for the sake of the weapon grinder? Well, like I said, we're gonna do this from top to bottom. So option 1, use pipes to have the keys go through. I guess option 2 is just leave it as is. Leave everything as is. Keys will just fly halfway across the map. Option 3 is swap the armor and weapon shops so that the weapon grinder is closer to the key storage. Is there any other option we can do here? I mean, I guess I could write the bad options, but it would be like move the treasure room so that it's above the weapon shop. I don't like this. Then it would then be too far from the warehouse. You can give wings to keys while they fly. I think so. Yeah, my thoughts on this stuff. Option 2 is obviously the easiest because it's already done. Option 3 isn't that hard to do, but the problem is that it may change the balance of story mode. The armor shop would become would be farther from the potion shop, which may slow down the game. Make the keys invisible and appear at the coordinates. I mean, at that point, it's just teleporting, right? So this is 2A, 2B could be just teleport them to the destination. And I think the problem with that is that you're putting a key or a weapon in here, but you don't know what's happening, like what's coming out of it. Whereas if you see things flying out of it, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's how I'm getting keys. So I like that idea, and I think what I'm leaning toward is option 2. Yeah. Oh, whoops, sorry, option 3. Leaning toward option 3, and then we just figure out the balance for story mode. As having a courier to transport items, too much overcomplication. It's not that it's too much overcomplication. The problem is we used to have the key storage right here. So you would grind a weapon and it would just produce a key right into this spot. But then the workers would have to move all the way over to here to put it into a treasure chest. And it's just a lot of travel distance. Yeah. So now they'll either bring them from the warehouse or they'll pull them from the key storage here directly. And same thing for you. You can just click a key and drag it over to here rather than having to, like, you know, you're zoomed in over here, you click a key and now you have to move the camera, drag it, move it, pick up a key, drag it. So this is the only position of both of these things that'll cut down on transportation for everybody. You, your workers, the warehouse. And yeah, having the weapon grinder over here, I think just doesn't make sense. The other thing we could do, and I think this is a bad idea, but I didn't think about this, I guess. We could, like 3A could be just swap or just move the weapon grinder to the armor shop. And I guess like 3A-1 would be change the weapon grinder into an armor grinder. This is kind of not really super important, I guess. Yeah, it would work. So I think this would be a little strange. If all we did is we picked this thing up and moved it over to the left side, then your weapons would have two destinations. So if you had a bunch of workers waiting here with weapons and you turn on the weapon grinder, they would now walk halfway across the map. Yeah, so I don't think it's a good idea. So this can't be a thing. This could be a thing where we just say this is not the weapon grinder, it's the armor grinder, and we put it over here. And the only problem we run into, they're minor, very minor problem number one is that it makes less sense to me that you'd grind armors into keys. Weapons are typically more metal oriented, I guess. But that's a lore issue. That's not even a technical problem. That's one thing. And then the other thing is that I guess you'd get an overflow of weapons. I think that's the only real issue. No, maybe that's not a problem. Plate and chainmail isn't that popular? Yeah, I guess it's kind of nonsensical either way. Because we certainly have some metal armors and we have some metal weapons, but we don't exclusively use metal weapons. Like bows can be ground up. There's no metal in a, well, not in this bow at least. Just a wooden bow. But yeah, as far as armors that might make sense to grind up, like what do we even give out? I guess we give this thing. That would probably make sense. But I don't think we give out any other metal things right now. Then again, we could just make it be metal. The other thing we could do, and I only just thought of this now, we could actually just manifest which ones of these, like we have an is metal Boolean, and the ones that look like they've got metal can be ground into keys. The issue with that would be that some armors would work and some weapons would work, but not all of them. And you'd want the transportation time to be low for both of them. I only use wooden bows to prove you wrong. I mean, wooden keys do exist, just not in this world. Any themely bone weapons? I don't think so. This one looks like it could be bone. And I guess this one too. But that's probably about it. Yeah, that's probably about it. I mean, there are literals like skulls and bones and stuff, but we don't give those out as weapons. All right, well, I'm still leaning toward 3, but I do wonder if this is a better option here. Change a weapon grinder into an armor grinder. Like, my only issue is that it's some lore thing. Does it really matter? The pipes idea, I just don't like that much. Well, we do have pipes coming out of this stuff, and I do have, well, I guess having an output pipe or like a chute is okay. Because this is what the weapon grinder looks like. Or should look like. It doesn't look like it now. We just copied what we already had. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay. I think I'm going to make this decision. I think we're going to change the weapon grinder into an armor grinder. Oh, man. But I guess a result of doing this is you'll have too many weapons. Since right now you have too many armor items. And this is another problem that I never really solved. And maybe it's worth talking about it now. Yeah, this armor items stack up quite a bit without an outlet. Armor in particular is kind of bad because the only outlets are the shop and the slime. I can delete that, I guess. Other than the shop/slime. So this is a game design issue, if anything. What do we do with the extra item category items, currently armors? And one idea would be allow you to grind them into keys as well. I don't like this idea. We could make a new system that lets you use them. We could make new perks that let you get rid of them. I don't want to change this stuff too much. but it kind of has been a problem. I had an idea a while ago for some kind of machine that, imagine it's got like one slot and you could put an item there. So like I drag a potion to it, and now whatever's on this thing is going to get auto sold from your warehouse every so often. Hmm. So you'll get your weapon shop last and you won't have another use for weapons. Hey, Siyash. I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to getting through some of these to-do items that we have. I'm trying to figure out, right now we have three kinds of items that you can sell. We have potions, we have armors, and we have weapons. And only two of these have another use. So potions can go into the extractor, which gives you seeds and fish, and weapons can go into the grinder, which gives you keys. But armors have nothing else. So what happens in the game is, because there's no other use for these, they just accumulate. And yeah, that has been a problem for kind of everybody for various reasons. Like, you don't have a way of getting rid of these. They start clogging your warehouse. You then very much want like armor storage. Just make 13 co-pilot agents who do a page of tunes each. A cynical death. I mean, someday that might be what happens, that you can trust them enough. But I think right now it would just create a lot of PRs that you'd have to go sift through and realize things are wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think as far as these options go, I think making a new system is probably the most sensible thing. But there are only really two things you care about in the game. If we want to let you use the excess, you only really care about money and power. Power is roughly equal to wisdom sludge or guild supplies. And the problem with guild supplies is that they come from treasure chests, which need keys, which will already be made from a certain item category. I guess you could have some kind of transmuter thing that you just dump weapons in and it gives you guild supplies. But I don't think I like that. And I don't think you need money in the end of the game. Well, I guess you need some of it. But selling is what gives you money. We could just let these stack. And nothing else. Oh, yeah, I don't have any great ideas. But yeah, I think I'm going to swap this. I think I'm going to make it into an armor grinder and we're going to move it. What time is it? Okay, I should probably take a break and we'll come back to this. I'll just write at the top here where I left off. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make the weapon grinder and armor grinder. And yeah, I just don't know what to do about excess weapons at that point. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. By the way, it's everyone's first game saying they were pros. Games played 1 for all of you. What if the adventurer gets the armor before going to combat and gets some HP or shield in the next combat? Close the game. Okay, so that idea is basically like what's happening. Well, I guess what you're saying is maybe temporary buffs. So I think there's possibly a way to have a system for that, but I don't know what it would look like exactly. Like, how much of a buff do you give? How long? You know, like +1 power versus +5 power, let's say. How long does it last based on the weapons you put in? And does it feel necessary? Let me think about this. Yeah, so we could make a weapon grinder that does something here. I think it's possible. I need to devote some more time to this. So you're gonna grind armor into keys and then possibly weapons into something else? Note this was written back before armor was used to make keys. We should probably consider having weapons convert into something temporary. Let me think about this. I could see people grinding weapons to give to a chronomancer who speeds up the entire game. Could also give temporary power buffs somehow. I think, I don't know. I'm so torn on this. Has to be something you'd basically want to spend money on. You're not spending money, but you're basically spending money. Yeah, all right. So do I want to definitely change this into the armor grinder? And that's how you'll get keys. I don't know why I'm so torn on this. Let's just do it. Just do it and see what happens. Unfortunately, this means everywhere that we have weapon grinder written down, which is what, 39 places, it needs to turn into armor grinder. We should probably just rename it to key grinder so that it's not what is it grinding, but rather what is it producing. Yeah, that's probably more sensible. Key grinder. And that way we could eventually change it to take in anything. And key grinder save data. Oh, that didn't work. All right, where else? Let's be key grinder position. Probably just replace it in every single spot and it'd be okay. I just still want to look through these and make sure I'm not forgetting something else. Okay, so now I just got this. Key grinder. Any others? Should we call it that to the user as well, I wonder? Like, instead of calling it the armor grinder, we call it the key grinder? That probably makes more sense. Yeah, I could see that. So now, a lot of things are going to have to change too. Let's go Let's go get this stuff. All right, let me think about this. So we go to the town map. We're gonna have to move this sign. This is the key storage sign. It's actually gonna be like, I guess we put this over here. So something like that. And then we need the position of the key grinder, which was previously over there. Now this one, I'm gonna just put somewhere and we're gonna try to eyeball it and see if it looks good. So yeah, let's start with that and then just run the game. Oh, this is gonna break save data as well. Oh, fun. Yeah. I don't know where we even write that. Probably just do it now, bump the save version. Since we're renaming the weapon grinder. Eventually I'll end up making migrations for these things, but I'm not doing that now. All right, so we make a new game. We want to look at where that sign shows up. So it's off here in the grass. And it says build weapon grinder. How did it not find all of that? How could it possibly say that? Yeah, there's a bunch of references that haven't been fixed. Oh, because I searched without spaces. Okay, that's fine. We can fix that later. All right, but if I try building this, where does it go? Who knows? I think it broke. Yeah, it broke. Oh, because I never renamed any of this stuff. We got to go rename the files themselves or else this won't work. All right, so close all the tabs. Go back into Godot. Rename this stuff. Key grinder. This will also rename the UID files. Okay. Now I can run this. Yeah, man. Okay, I mean, it didn't produce it exactly where I expected it to. I think we need to move this a little bit. Hey, Jay, what does NRV mean? I don't know. What is it? Let me look it up. This site isn't loading. There it is. New River Valley. That's apparently the only thing that shows up. Net realizable value. What's the context you're asking about? Saw your game tiles. Oh, that's nav. Oh, that's a navigation blocker. Yeah. So these are invisible walls in the game. And the reason nav is written there is so that you as a map creator can see where they are. So you can pretty much see they encapsulate the walkable areas of the game. Sorry, I thought this was just a random question. All right, so what we want to do is we want to move this farther down. Maybe by, I guess there's a pipe that has to go into the ground, and that's got to go into grass. Wait, no, it doesn't. Well, not eventually, at least. So I guess we can just move this down. All right, so maybe 8 pixels down, and then I want to move to the right a little bit more, maybe to the edge of this thing. So to the right by 32. So down 8, right 32. Right 32, down 8. Okay, now we test that. I guess we should just move the sign if we're going to do that, huh? Where's the sign? Key storage sign. So we put this on top of here. Nice. Okay. In fact, we don't need an extra position if the sign is just going to be where the key grinder goes. Well, let's try that again. Start asking you random questions. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, now we go replace the word weapon with key. The key grinder will produce special keys more frequently. Special keys, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is here for a very specific edge case. Dragging an item from a full key storage onto the key storage drop zone while the key grinder has enough accumulated value. Not going to read the rest of that. This is all going to be this. Build key grinder and key storage. Allows you to create keys to open treasure chests and includes storage for those keys. Cool, cool, cool. Yep, looks good. What is this? This is a hacky fix to the collision shape for the... Oh, God. Okay, so technically, since this was fixed weapon shop, and since this is now the armor shop, we're gonna have the wrong collision shape. I'm guessing the drop zone is gonna be busted for this. In which case, we'll just apply this to the armor shop and not the weapon shop. Let's see. Continue game might not have the key storage. It does. Yes, this is broken. So this orange boundary. What's nice is this won't really be a problem. So with the weapon shop, see how we cut this orange square off here? I think we should shrink it and lower it. This is going to be a little bit annoying. This is going to be the armor shop specifically. So fix armor shop collision shape. Drop zone collision shape. This is for shop. And we need to do this only when it's the armor shop. All right, what are we doing here? We're doing shape.size minus 70. Yuck. Yuck is all I have to say. Yeah, we're just gonna have to look. Just have to keep testing this. We'll probably need to lower it, as I mentioned. I don't think just shrinking it is enough because you drag armors from below usually. So you want it to be low enough. All right, how's this look? It still overlaps. So we want to lower this by at least maybe 16 pixels. So this is just changing the size. We need to change the position as well. Is there a position here? No, because it's not the shape that does that. It's the drop zone collision shapes position. Plus equal vector 2 dot down times 16. Okay, let's try that. Now we go rerun this. So we're just making sure that an orange square doesn't collide with a blue square. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Hey, nice. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now what's the warning that we're seeing here? Load from save data. What is this? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. This might be because I never deleted my save file. So I'm guessing this still has, yeah, this still has weapon grinder stuff. We just need to change it to key grinder. And then when I hit load, it should work. No, now it broke completely. That's not good. That's really not good. Oh boy, why'd that happen? Oh, because it's not even set to load. Okay, now I think it should be fine. I just needed to quit the game. So now when I hit continue, we don't see an error over here. And we do see this thing still. It still says weapon grinder. How is that possible? Because there's one instance I forgot to change. Okie dokie. So the machine name only accepts armor. Armor items? Armor items? Key storage is full. Click to turn on, which will make them prioritize bringing armor items to the machine name. Click to turn off, which will make them ignore it. Add armor items to this to grind them into keys for your treasure room. Blah, 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 until a new armor is added. Armor item. Is this a kitten picture? Oh, look at these little babies. These are Kevin's new kittens that I mentioned I met on Saturday. They're so great. Hi, kittens. Do you want to follow the pointer? Some animals are smart enough to recognize themselves in a mirror. I wonder how many animals would recognize a video of someone. And I guess beyond that, how many would recognize that it's a video, that it's not really the person? Hey, Remy. Yeah, it pretty much is. How's it going? Just following the Skeleseller cursor earlier. Oh, nice. Okay, so something in here makes them only get weapons. Yeah. So probably we just change all of this stuff to be armor. And then this get invalid destination only weapon should probably change to get invalid destination like item type. Any other place you see the word weapon in here? No. But there is a bug here. No, that shouldn't be a bug. Nice. Feeling less sick, so that's nice. Nasty bugger. Still have coughing fits, basically unable to do any sports because my lungs just stopped working. Man, that is crazy. But I'm glad you're feeling less sick. Great. How are you? I'm doing well. The short summary of what's going on here is we've shared bone mode out with enough people now that I think it's good. We're keeping it. And now we just need to fix the rough edges and then do more playtesting and everything. Gonna get some kittens myself. Oh man, they're adorable. They love to play. They have so much energy. And it made me appreciate that my cat is not constantly asking us to play. But I do think we probably should have gotten a bonded pair if we could have. I think it's just better for the cats after seeing how much they just got to play with each other and interact. They love each other, those little kittens. Suits you great. Yeah, thanks, Rami. Yeah, as I was putting the shirt on, I thought of you today, Rami, because I was like, he'll probably show up today. He'll probably comment on the shirt today. And sure enough, lo and behold. By the way, as long as I'm talking about cats, let me see if I have any good cat pictures I can share. I have a picture of Kevin's kitten. That I will share, like so. I put my drinking glass down, and it just stuck its face directly inside the glass and started drinking from it. I guess I'm not drinking from that anymore. Just become a cat mom for half a year. Nice, nice, nice. Can you send this to me? Need to show wife? Yeah, I'll write myself a note to do it later. Evening. Send Kevin the cat pictures. I'll send you the whole album of them. Did you and Kevin meet up? Yeah, on Saturday. You got the kittens. 2 little kittens. And he's going to name them Skella and Seller. Imagine if he actually did that. Okay. Are we done with this, I wonder? It's running. Let's just close out of this. And go test it out. Turn that off. Name him Adam and Rami. Rami and RM. Okay, so we're going to read everything and make sure that this all looks good. Build key grinder and key storage. Allows you to create keys to open treasure chests and includes storage for those keys. So wait a second, if I build this, it builds the treasure room. Oh, because you're not supposed to see this until you build the treasure room. Okay, never mind. All right, so key grinder. Add armor items to this to grind them into keys for your treasure room. Overflow keys accumulate when your key storage is full and a new armor item is added. Sure, sounds good. And then what does the treasure chest say on it? You can speed up the opening process using keys. Okay, what does this say? Purchase a treasure chest, blah, blah, blah. You can speed this up by offering them keys. Okay, cool. Can we put armors in them? Armor. Did it work? That was 30%. Oh, I'm in normal mode. Like, why is it only 30%? That should be much more than that. Right now it's 86, so we need one more armor item, and then we should get a key. Cool. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, I like that. Now, what about workers bringing them keys? How does that look? We're going to turn this on. Oh. Why do they stop there? It doesn't look good. Why don't they get any closer to that? They're stopping like here? Yeah, they get to this tile and then they don't move up anymore. They're getting like here and then they don't move up. That's strange. This is walkable. They can't make it all the way to the machine, but they should be able to make it closer. Yeah, very strange. Okay, well, let's turn these things on. This and this and this. And get that and save and quit. Hey, who cares? It's high priority up. Yeah, actually, we did prune all the other items off the list. So this is all stuff that needs to be done, I think. Walk the full mile. I don't know if they'll do that. They're dead. What's going to motivate them at this point? Okay, so this blue border around the outside here is the navigation barrier. But they can't make it up to there. I'm still not sure why they just stop here. Let me take a picture of this. Why wouldn't they get closer? I guess if we chose visible navigation, although I need to turn this on too. Promise some strong bones. That they might go for. All right, well, how about this? Let's lower the key grinder by... Actually, let's do it a little bit drastically here. Let's do it by that much. Because maybe then they'll move up to it. A bug where they're afraid to get close. I think you're onto something. Let's see if they're willing to get a little closer now. Okay, I mean they are, but I guess it's fine. I don't know. Does it matter? It doesn't really matter. We can move the sign down a little bit too. There. And then what do we do? We move the, what did I move this by, like 8 pixels or something? We got to go change shop.cs so that this is down even further. Maybe like 24. AZ900, I'm guessing this is about Azure. Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. How to earn the certificate. Pass 1 exam. Score of 700 or greater required. What's the max score? 1,000? Do you know what you got? Congratulations. 778. I mean, that's not bad. You were like 10% above the score you needed. Here, Rohit. It's going well. Happy Monday. They don't tell you how many or where you messed up. Yeah, I wonder if it's so that you can't help other people cheat or something. How do you guys like your spaghetti? Spaghetti and meatballs. That's what I like. Yeah. Oh, the spaghetti is really versatile. I like spaghetti a lot. I can't say there are many pasta shapes that I dislike. I think they're pretty much all good. Got away with never doing one of those wretched certs. Congrats on surviving. Yeah, I'd never done one either. Was it stressful, Randy? I don't like the aesthetics of this. That's the only problem. But, well, maybe we can move it up a little bit. I don't know. We should find a place that this will actually work that won't look bad. Oh, you know what we could do? We could... Yeah, we should worry about this later. We can make it so that the graphic is in one spot and then the collision shape is in another spot. So yeah, I shouldn't be spending my time doing this right now. Let's just see if it looks good enough for now. As long as they don't stop in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's fine. So that's good enough. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, so the clean up the world map we still need to do. I'll file a task for that. File task to clean up the world map. Make pipes. Probably don't have keys, just flow through the world. Don't have a pipe at all. Blah, 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 blah. We're working on a game with JavaScript. Now I'm stuck with varying animation speed when opening the game in different devices. Trying to figure this out. The general way you do this is base the game on some kind of like physics tick. as opposed to the frame rate. So that's what you would want to look up for this, because a lot of people, when they get into game dev, do kind of base things on the frame rate of the game. And then, yeah, if it runs faster on another machine, it'll run like at twice the speed. So yeah, you need to figure out like how much time has passed and then advance your game simulation by that amount of time. Not really. It wasn't a hard course. More so getting back in the mindset of sitting down and learning again was a bit hard. Yeah. Expire after a year, which is a huge scam. Yeah, I'm glad I've never had to do any of the certification stuff. All right, what am I doing? What am I looking at here? Swapping the weapon shop. Done with that. Yeah, done with that for now. Bump the save version. Game saver. Save version 10, 11. Good. And then file task to clean up the world map. Let's go do that now. Clean up the world map. I think I've got some pictures of this somewhere. But it's not that hard to take a new picture. No, I definitely did take a picture of this. I put it somewhere in the Skeleseller issues. Or maybe I put it in the Google Doc. They're printing a demo, standalone challenges. No, it must be in here somewhere. Yeah, this stuff. Okay, so let's just copy this image. I hate this process. I think this is the stupidest part. That Google has known about this for years. You can't just hit copy here and paste it into another program. Like if I go try to paste it over here now, it doesn't do anything. It says there is no image data because all it's doing is copying it in a format that Google understands. You need to go to copy as markdown and then go to a base 64 site and then paste it in and then delete the characters that are for just the sort of metadata around base 64, and then you get the image. So now we paste this into a new issue. Hey Jay, that is a lot of issues. All right, so clean up the map. The town map. There are a lot of small artifacts like these. Note that these specific ones may no longer exist, but there are almost certainly still issues. EJ. Are you plugged into any sort of new slang? Because I'm not really anymore, other than through Twitch. A few college professors tell me that he knew personally 2 people who had their marriage end because of the CCIE, top level Cisco networking cert. Yeah, CCNA. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know they were that rigorous. I wonder how much people learn doing those though. Like there probably is some value, at least ostensibly, in having certifications for things. So that when you hire someone, if they have their cert and you trust that they had a rigorous process for it, that you're like, okay, well then they must know their stuff. I learned a massive amount. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. All right, so now we just need to check this stuff in. Why did party member change? Oh, did I forget to check in? Oh God. Get log -1. No, I didn't forget to check in. Why did this change? Oh, because I never opened the scene before this? Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, well, whatever. We can just amend the last commit then. Unless I pushed, in which case I'm going to have to force push. So let's try to remember that too. So every other thing here should be fine. Yes. But this we got to amend. Yeah. EJ, thank you for gifting a sub. Very nice of you. Welcome, Rami. Welcome back, I should say. Maybe you probably had like a 30-month sub link now or something. Okay, so I want to check in all of this. I guess hit the plus button to make it easier to look through. Because now it's going to find renames for me. So we're calling it the key grinder now. instead of the weapon grinder. So it's talking about what it produces, not what it takes in. But the rest of this stuff is pretty much just changing the word weapon to key and the inputs to armors. I wonder if I just type in armor, what is, it didn't even define the word. Bing is so terrible sometimes. I said define armor and it defined army. Was this an ad? Defensive covering for the body, quality or circumstance that affords protection, protective outer layer. Oh, thanks, Mars. Thanks for the bits. And thank you for the feedback and doing everything that you did, providing those. In fact, I should give you a point. There you go. Yeah, I am starting to tackle this stuff today. Azure always sounds like when you're going to the beach. I guess I would associate Azure with sky and water and everything. That sounds like a beachy day. It's so much worse. No, it's the same level of enjoyment. Phoenix skins. Anyway, the reason I looked this up is because I am saying armor items in the game, and I wonder if I should say armors. To me, this sounds wrong, but it is shorter by what? Like 5 characters, I guess. Let's look up on Google armors. How many search results? I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to say armor items. It sounds better to me. All right. So this has already been filed. And yeah, we just need to check this in. Did I look through all of it? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. So make key grinder take armor items. The primary motivator here was that the weapon grinder was located near the weapon shop, which meant keys would fly very far from it to get to key storage. I could have just swapped the positions of the armor and weapon shops, but that would affect the balance of story mode, since the distance between your first 2 shops would be much greater. I opted for this for now, so let's see how it's received. Yeah, there. Okay, commit that. All right, so can I sync this, or is this gonna have a problem? No, nice, okay. All right, that's done. Next up, add the treasure room to the quick move menu for keys and have the key go to the chest with the highest time. Oh, I really like bone mode, but gonna take me a bit to get the hang of it. Gotta develop a flow and gain an understanding on what's more beneficial. Oh yeah, definitely. One of the things that's still surprising to me, so I don't know how much you know about the history of this, but it was originally called challenge mode, and it was originally something you could lose if you ran out of time. And almost no one liked this. So what we did is we still have a timer, but now it counts up, and now you get medals when you complete it fast enough. Well, now everyone's focused on those medals, and I think it's an okay thing for them to focus on it, but I was just watching Idle Prince play, and he seemed like frantic almost. And I need to communicate somehow that you don't lose if you run, well, you don't run out of time. There's no losing, there's no running out of time, there's no penalty. And the only benefit is literally just a little picture that's going to show up. It doesn't even give you higher rewards or anything. So I think some people will just innately feel pressured, and that there's no real way to alleviate it. BONE stands for business optimization via new expansions. You're constantly starting a new Skeleton everywhere. Anyway, yeah, this sounds reasonable enough to do. Let's go do it. So I gotta change this again. There's going to be a send a treasure room, and we need an icon for that, and we don't have an icon. Where's the quick move menu? Push to get gold. Yeah, and I think it's okay if people feel motivated to do that. I think the problem is when they feel the pressure, I guess. Like motivation and pressure are two different forms of stress. And I'm not sure how to alleviate that. I like the stress and struggle. Yeah, I think it's nice to have a goal at least. Yeah, so I broke the save file just now. That's fine. So we're going to make a new game, I guess. Wouldn't continue have mentioned the broken save file? Wait a second. Let me try that again. Continue. Okay, good. Yeah, that's fine. What I missed? Nothing really. Codex. All right, so what do I even want to do here? Oh yeah, the quick move menu. Okay, so we give ourselves some money, we give ourselves some perks, and we give ourselves some items. So now we see the menu. We have shop, warehouse. This is the garbage slime, the tavern, and the extractor. And then depending on, oh, wait a second. Did I ever get this working correctly? This doesn't, this isn't good. This is broken. I don't get it though. Why? Oh, because it won't accept it? Oh, darn it. All right, item, actions, menu. There's something about a weapon in here. Yeah, here it is. This needs to be armor. My bad. My bad. Forgot to change that. We should probably search for item category dot weapon and make sure there aren't any other cases where I did that. Those look fine, fine. Everything in there looks fine. And now what do we have? That's okay. That's okay. Totally fine, totally fine, totally fine. Yeah, cool. Okay. All that stuff is good. Big Spug with quick move menu. I should have put this in the last commit. Oh, fine. Let's amend the commit. Amend. So now we need a force push though, right? Yeah, get push dash dash force. Okay. Remove the medals until you earn one. It's how a lot of racing games work. You don't know what you're aiming for until after your first run. Then it'll show you the next medal you can earn. Like get a bronze medal if you beat this time. By having it there, and especially with notification reminders, it'll create pressure on some people like me. I'll write that down. Yeah, I'll write that down. Let's just put that here. Metals seem to be adding pressure. The thing is, metals also give people that goal. I'll need to keep doing playtesting to figure out what's best for this. But as long as people are enjoying it, I think that's fine. Yeah, something else I noticed is I looked at the metrics. Since Friday, there have been 7 unique people who've played, and they've played 16 runs total. So on average, that's 2.28 or something percent. I don't, or sorry, did I say 2.28%? I meant 2.28 runs or something per person. That's not a very high number, and it could be any number of reasons, and 7's not a very large sample size anyway. But the original goal was if these numbers were high, then it meant, yeah, the mode's probably working. So I am kind of relying on self-reports for right now about how much fun it is. Also, it hasn't been very long. You still have the goal, but if you wanted to address the concern, I think a way to solve it is to not show it and only show the next medal after they beat it. Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if it's worth even trying that. Like, I should probably keep an eye on this. I'll write this down. Note, it may not be worth doing anything about this yet, but Xyletics suggestion is a good one if we do deem it to be a problem. Hey, Cypher. How's it going? I had a lot going on this weekend, so I didn't play as much. Yeah, well, and you did play the demo on top of challenge mode. I thought you'd already played the demo originally. I'm sorry, by the way. I should have set expectations a little bit better. I've been telling people a couple of things, like the playtest is really just for bone mode, and the demo is sort of expected ahead of time, and I might not have mentioned that. So I know you said you played for about 2.5 hours. The other thing that I probably forgot to mention is the audio setup. It was very hard to hear you. So I think you'd need to turn the game volume like way down, because I rewound a bunch and tried to understand what you were saying, and at some point I just gave up and just watched the gameplay because I couldn't hear anything. Played the intro scenario, got gold, then ran the second scenario twice, but failed to get gold both times. Yeah, that's another thing. The first scenario set up so that you practically have to get gold, which maybe I should just remove medals from the first scenario, because there's no real point, I guess. Maybe remove the gold medal from the first scenario. It was only there so that you would get more upgrade points. But then we made the number of points static. Yeah. Working a crazy amount right now. Most of us are probably repeat players, so we played a lot of runs in total. Yeah, those are good points. You should go into data science, Galaxy Inferno. What a funny joke. Okay, so we need to get this working for keys. The issue, and this is why I popped this up, we need to have a graphic for the treasure room. And I think we'll pull it from game icons on net, because those are the other ones that we're using here. Hey, typical. If I just search for treasure, or maybe treasure chest or something. Yeah, that would work. That one would too. I guess this one's already open, so maybe just the closed one is better. Or maybe this one. Yeah, I think this is pretty clear. Work is dummy busy. All right, well, I wish you luck. And it's totally fine if you don't chat a lot on any given day. Goes for everyone, by the way. I don't want anyone to ever feel like, I don't know, they have to say something in chat. You certainly don't. You are welcome to do it. All right, so we have an icon. I need to go put the icon in a certain folder. We need to figure out what folder that is, probably here. We should see things like barn in here, I think. Yeah, barn, Delapuit. And we should see 4 other ones like that, right? Eric's, recycle, shop, tavern, valve. Yeah, let's add this one in. So how do I save this just as an SVG? I forgot how I set this up, because this has a background color. Don't I want it to be transparent? Background, type. Well, how do you make it transparent? Reset. Oh, here we go. Shape. Color. Alpha, 0. I think we set them to 0. I don't remember how I did this. Let's just look at one of these. Should be apparent when I download it, right? So viewbox height. Fill is white. Fill opacity is 1. One of these things is probably how the background color is drawn, but maybe there just isn't one. Typical. What is this message? You create something, it becomes big, bigger projects, more problems. You solve the problems, it creates a mess. You hate your life. Is this happening to you right now? I think this is a very jaded way of looking at things. So let's delete the CK and replace it with a D here. Now that's an accurate name. Yeah, you are? Okay. Well, my honest advice is to try to look at things a little bit different, because you probably have a lot of benefits from having created something that got big. And it can be worth acknowledging those so that it doesn't feel so crushing. All right, so I want this to be over here. That did not work. Why didn't that work? There we go. All right, now where did that go? Here. So now we type dash lork. I got lost at how solving problems created a mess. I think the mess is that your project then gets bigger and gets more people attached, and then they want more things. Just look at Adam's Google Doc. But this is, I don't hate my life because of this. Like, I think it's fine to say that you, like, yeah, bigger projects will probably lead to more problems, but it'll also lead to some benefits. But I think if the conclusion from any of this stuff is that you don't like what you're doing, then that is now your biggest problem and you should address that. It's totally fine for you to make something that's successful and then eventually say, this is not for me anymore. Now I'm the #1 teacher to ask anything. Yeah, what's the expression for this? No good deed goes unpunished. I always think it's funny when this turns out to be true. And I mentioned my own story about this the other day. Like, I made a document for the last company I worked at, and this document like super caught on and then caused problems for me. And I did not want to handle any of those problems. Like, I was just trying to do a nice thing originally. Turned out to be too good. Yeah, why can't it be more problems leads to more money? All right, so let's open up Godot so this actually gets imported. And let's go manifest this icon. So we're going to look at where's the barn one? What? Oh, this is just, no, here it is. Yeah, it actually is just coded into this. But then how do I change this thing to an extractor? Don't I change the icon somewhere? Aha. Aha. So this is just hard coded in here. Update button icons to reflect held item. So what do we do? When you're holding a key, we want to change it to a different thing. Okay, cool. So string icon to use equals, I always forget the syntax of switch expressions, but thankfully AI didn't. So good job, AI. All right, so adventure power-ups go to the barracks. Everything else goes to the shop. It should be here. And keys go to this new thing. What's it called? Locked chest lork. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this. All right, so step 1 should just be when you pick up a key, it should have the right icon. Step 2 is to make it go to the right thing. We'll go off to dinner now, though. Take care. All right, yeah, have a good dinner. You don't hate your life because you have a corn keyboard and you don't have to look at the keyboard and think what key to press and hold to type numbers. Okay, this makes me think that there's more levity in what you were saying originally, so I'm glad to hear that. But I truly hope nothing's wrong over there. And if something is, feel free to talk about it if you want to. But yeah, I hope there is no life hating going on. All right, so how do we get this to work? When you choose a quick move menu, we need to know that you've chosen it. So something here knows to go to the key grinder. Yeah, here it is. Send to extractor. So send to shop is going to be if this is an adventurer power up. I think this isn't really send to shop. This is just the first option. So let's just make a thing here. Private void handle send to shop. And this is going to take an item and nothing else. And I'm going to write a comment here preemptively saying, maybe this isn't really sending an item to the shop. That's just the default first action. Where we send the item is based on the item type. Okay. Hey, Tom. May want to use resource cache instead of resource loader back there. So these icons are actually cached. Minor optimization. Resource cache. Oh, this is our own thing. I see. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, thank you. I wonder how much that matters, but it is good to know. So anywhere else we have resource loader? Nope, that was it. Okay, good call, Kevin. So this is what we're going to do here. We are going to say handle send to shop item and then delete all of that. So now what's the problem? Cannot convert void to what? I accepts item. We need to return I accepts item. And I guess a question mark. And then this could be null. No, it can't be null. Okay. So now we do return item category switch. So a key is going to go to, it's not going to go to key storage, but I'm going to actually have it do that for now. A guild supply is going to go to the guild. And anything else is going to go to the, wow, this is so hard to type because it's tabbing down to there. Is going to be this. And then we delete all that stuff. Okay, cool. All right, so this is not totally correct. We got to fix this part, but let me try this out before we go any further. Again, what we're trying to do is get it so that you can, oh, I should probably take a break soon too. Okay, fine. Well, we'll see if this is working and then we'll probably take a break and then I'll come back to it. So if I drag this, this has key grinder, but then if I have a key in the warehouse, it's got a black background. Ugh. Okay, fine. Well, I'll write that down here too. Fix black background on the new icon. Well, I can't click this because it says key nearby key storage is full. Why is it nearby? That shouldn't be there anymore. The nearby key storage is full. Yeah. I think it used to be close. It's not close anymore. So I want to get rid of those keys. I gotta just wait for workers to go pick them up. Why aren't they doing that? Is it because I'm holding a key? They're only ever gonna find that one? Oh my God, seriously? That's a bug. Okay, that's a definite bug. But yeah, that's looking good. Interesting. So if there's a key in, how do I do this so that they won't grab this from me? I put that there and then I click there and then I do this. Okay, yeah. So there's a key in the warehouse and you're holding it. They'll never pick something up from storage. Let's write that bug down. Bug, if you're holding a key from the warehouse, if you're holding the only key in the warehouse but you have some in storage, your workers will never pick up any key because they only find the one that you're holding. Need to focus on a task. Take care, Leap Your Girl, and thank you. And make the keys actually go to the right chest. Okay, so we're gonna do this when I get back from the break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. again. By the way, for those who've never done this, you can type join in chat and then J and a number. Like J5 will jump me slightly to the right, and J -5 will jump me slightly to the left. So if you ever want to mess around and I haven't come back yet, you can use this screen to try things out. But I'm about to say close the game, which will, you guessed it, close the game, and get back to work. So let's see if we can figure out what's making this black from inside the file. It might be easy to do. Yeah, right there, fill. We just delete that. Wait, right? Delete this and the fill opacity. But then we have a path that doesn't need to be there. Let's just go to any other SVG file like this. We have one path. Oh yeah, we can just delete this whole thing. And then we also need to change this to be, what, width 196 by 196, but not the way I did it here. These are only 128 by 128. Okay. This path is square. Yeah. Okay, so that should be fixed. And then make the keys actually go to the right chest. That one's going to be a little bit more annoying to do because I never coded this before. So right now it just says go to key storage. We need to send it to... What happens here? Get destination? Don't we need to figure out this specific chest it should go to? And it's possibly nothing? Yeah, that's what I need to do. So this is not key storage. This is going to be town.treasureroom dot like find best chest for key item. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, sure, fine. All right, now we go get this and we make a public function. Public, what do we need to return? I accepts item. I guess it's a treasure chest. Treasure chest. Find best chest for key. So this is just going to be the one with the most time remaining. What is this? Interesting. So anything that'll accept an item, I guess we taking the item. And then we need to sort them. Order, sort, what is it called? Order by? Is this, what do you call this thing? Is there dot order? Order by, yeah. Why is it saying no suggestions? Does not know link is a thing? No, it has to know link is a thing. Oh, because I'm doing any. My bad. Okay, so select those and then order by, what do I want to order by? Descending the treasure chest time. Is there a time thing? There isn't. Ugh. I want to know how much time remains. How do we get that? Time remaining. There's no way to fetch it. Time remaining after handling in-flight keys. Yeah, sure, that one. Sounds good. And then we want the first or default. And there should be a question mark. And this should be returned. And now what's the problem? Bool does not contain a definition for bool. I seem to have messed things up. Could I have done to list here? That shouldn't be needed. Still thinks it's a Boolean. Oh, whoops, what am I doing? Yeah, sorry, this is where, not select. I just completely forgot link for that 2 minutes of time. Yeah, now I think we're good. So let's go try that. You want where? I think you select now where. Yeah. I wanted that. Yeah. Okay, so now when we try taking a key, so I do this and I drag this up here, it goes to, well, we only have one treasure chest. I guess we should add some more. And now add a bunch of these and then press 1 and it'll always go to the one of the highest time. Yes. which is a little bit hard to see because I spawn them all at pretty much the exact same time. And then it's also hard to see because the workers are trying to take these from me. So there's a key. I'm going to drag it. Well, I guess we can just do it this way. And which one is the highest one? The upper rightmost one. Nice. Okay, so now what we need to do is see what happens when there are no treasure chests that can be opened. So let's put these into here. And I'm going to do that. And now we're going to try putting this into a treasure chest. And it's not even allowed. But it shows question marks for that. Why? Yeah, why? It says shop. Okay, so that's a problem. Fix how it says shop or question mark, question mark, question mark. Should be pretty easy to fix. Where's the question mark stuff? Yeah, here. Oh, there's a bug there. What's that bug? Town.treasure room. We know this has to exist. Get button label. So the item category is armor and the button ID is send to extractor. Yeah, so else, I guess I'll just copy this. If it is a key and it is send to shop, then get send to treasure chest. Treasure chest. Treasure chest. Yeah, I don't think we're going to clarify anything else. And then what else do we have here? It's just always going to be that label. And then target equals get destination. And if the target is null. The target could be null. But if it's null, then we just don't light up the button. So in this case, I think we just return the label immediately. But why? That means that this is happening for... No, adventure power-ups can never have that problem. The key grinder, I don't know if it can have that problem. Let's try it. No, it apparently can't. Return immediately since the... Even if the chest... I guess return immediately since the chest could be null. But we don't want the label. Want it to seem like you haven't unlocked treasure room by showing. Yeah, that. All right, I think we're good now. So we made him go to the right chest. We fixed the background. We fixed the label. By the way, I think it is really important I'm taking breaks for streams like this, because it does make it seem like less of a slog. All right, so if I click this, yeah, it says treasure chest. Even though we don't have a treasure chest, we can put it in. But if I click that now, it lets us put in the right one. And now I can just pick a bunch of keys and press 1 on them, which is pretty good. I think that's a nice quality of life improvement. Hey, TJ, it's going pretty well. It's hard to give a real-time answer, but at the end of the day, I will know how many characters I got rid of on this list. So we started the day with about 15,000 characters. And at the end of the day, hopefully the number is lower than 15,000. And then we'll figure out our burn down rate. And we can maybe, after a couple days, use it to estimate how long it'll take us to get rid of the rest of this stuff. But I plan on spending the next entire week doing this. And then I'm going to be taking a vacation starting on Wednesday of next week. So we have another, whatever it is, like 5-6 work days. All right, so this is done. This is done. Let's go check it in. Okay, looks good. Add treasure chest to QMM for keys. Miss seeing Abby during your vacation. Yeah, I wonder. I should take like 100 pictures and then just cycle them in a slideshow and stream that for a week. Watch my view count soar. I want to make sure that I committed the right thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We're doing that. We're doing it. We're really doing it. Next, ideas for later perks. Get a skeleton key or omni key based on some event. Convert all guild supplies into omni orbs. Get omni orbs from something. None of these are really great ideas. I think I'm just going to delete all of these. Yeah. I don't like these that much. I like this one a little bit better. Get an omni orb from something, and I wonder what that something could be. So for those who don't know, omni orbs are the things we just added to chests pretty recently. Normally, chests just contain specific items. So this chest will buff the cleric, the mage, and the spirit caller. But you can get a purple key, which if I do this, will be a higher chance of showing up. So now let's see if I can actually get one. Yeah, so this says opens a chest sooner and adds 1 omni orb, which powers up all adventurers. So when I put the key into there, I'll put another one in there. So now I have 2 omni orbs in this thing. So now when I open this, we're going to get those orbs. And I bring them to the guild. And it can power up everybody. So you see a whole bunch of text just stacking here. So it's like getting 10 items in a chest instead of just 1. We could just grant them to you for something. Maybe beating a boss. I still don't know what we're going to do with bosses in this mode. Maybe they give omni orbs. That could make sense. But I think I'm just going to mark this as... Oh, whoops, that was... Oh, I see. Yeah, that was right. Okay, so let's X this out too for right now. All right, when this PR is done, we can use item quantity labels rather than duplicating entries. Yeah, I'll write this here in the PR itself. I'll just take a picture of a treasure chest. Actually, I should take a picture of a treasure chest that has a bunch of items in it. Nice. We can reuse what we do for this PR to work for treasure chest so that we don't duplicate all the entries within it. One. Done. Cool. Okay. Work for later. Done with that. Bug. If you're holding the only key in the warehouse, but you have some in storage, in the key storage, your workers will never pick up any key because they only find the one that you're holding. Okay, worker wander. What do we have? Find item source. Yeah, here. So this finds an actionable warehouse display, but why don't we check to see if you're holding this? Go through where the destination is not null and where the item displays item is not held. Yeah, that should fix that problem. That was easy. Let's also do this. Glad that was easy because this was not a to-do item that was on the list this morning. So if we started at 15,000 characters, it's actually raised it a bit. And if we took a lot of time solving it, it would mean we're not getting through the regular thing. That was easy, he says before running the app. Well, I'm pretty confident it fixed it. Who knows if that's actually correct. Okay, so we need a chest here, we need a key in here, and then I need to be holding this one. And as long as the worker goes and grabs this, then it's fixed, yeah. Nice. Yeah, that is a different issue. Them grabbing them only to put them in the warehouse. But yes, we did fix the original problem. Cool. Fix bug with workers finding keys. Actually, we should probably see if this is an equivalence class of problems. So the way that this works is they try finding a ground item, random item on ground. How does this work? Get ground items that can be picked up, which checks to see if they're not held. Cool, so that one's working. Warehouse, we just did. Key for chest. How does this work? This is probably not right. Well, this one's working. This is not. Yeah. And then what about this? Check the key storage. Yeah, I need to do this too. And then what's the last one? Get random crop to harvest. You can't pick up crops. So that's not a problem there. Fix bugs with workers finding keys. They would. Wait. If I don't restart this, we have the old code. So what happens if I, first of all, let's clear out all the keys that we have. So let's just speed this up a lot and click that and that. And then if I hold this key, what happens? They should still find the other purple key. Yeah, now they'll just walk around forever. But what if I build the armor shop? They find armors and stuff. And if I let go of this key, they find it. And then if I pick it up, they don't find it. Yeah. Probably if I slow this down, we can see it. Like someone's going to come up here and try to pick this up. Oh, wait, no, they won't because these aren't here. All right, now someone's going to come try to pick it up. Yep, this one's coming over here, but I pick it up and they walk away. Then they find something else, right? They do not find something else. That's a problem. So this is breaking things. Wait. No, but I just fixed this myself. Yeah. So now I run it again. I forgot we're working with old code here. So that proves that there is a problem. Now we should have fixed it. So I do this and get a key to pop out and then get a chest and then hold this item. But it's got to be after someone already found it as a source. So I need them to walk up here. Yeah, now I pick it up and they should just go grab that shield. Perfect. Perfect. They were able to find keys that you were holding, which would make them do weird things, which would make them not go find another item that they could act on. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Next up, want to show which scenario number you're on, write in the objective details. Even if it's bone mode number 1 and hovering over it shows you which scenario you're on to explain the number 1 part. It should show the scenario name in the tooltip. Yeah, so this was mostly for the sake of spectators. Suppose you're watching someone and you just see this at the upper left. You don't know what scenario they're on. Now, if you watch them go from the title screen, you might remember, oh, they're on scenario number 1. But I wanted to show right here. And I think the simplest way to do it is to just put, as I mentioned, that thing, number 1 in parentheses right up here. And then when you hover over that, it would tell you what this is all about. Is there a better way to do this? I don't think so. I guess instead of saying bone mode at the upper left, it could say the scenario. It could say farming scenario or getting started or something. What are the titles? Getting started. It would look kind of weird to say getting started at the top. And I think putting the scenario name after bone mode would be too much text. And I can't click this button right now. So let's go win so that I can click it. It just says farming. And the next one's just what? Adventuring, right? Yeah. Let me think. All right, well, let's see what it looks like if I were to do that. Bone mode. Title. Challenge mode. Objective details. We find the title label. Here it is. Oh, wait, we never modify it. I must have deleted it. Although it might still be accessed by unique name. It is. Yeah, so we're going to go modify that. And I guess we just do it in ready. Do we have an init here? We have an init. We get the town. We probably know. We probably know what scenario we're in at this point, right? We have that get for end screen thing. Where is that? Yeah, right here. All difficulty data that get level, title, and the levels here. And yeah, nice. Okay, I think we do that then. So we say we got to get whatever type that is. It is just a regular label, label, title, label equals that. So now I want to set this to be bone mode and then parenthesis number level. Yeah. And then the level we get from here. Okay. So now it's just going to say like number 1, which is not going to mean anything to you. And then we're going to change the tooltip so that it tells you what that means. Yes, we have all this stuff. So I want to get the level and the title. Do we do anything else here? No. And I think I want to start with that information. So this will be scenario number level title /n. Maybe a couple new lines. I don't know. Let's just see what that looks like. I think we can clean this up a tiny bit. I want all this information to show there. It's kind of a lot. So I just start a farming scenario. So now it's going to say number 2 up there. It says number 1. Isn't it number 2? Do I need to add 1? I guess I need to add 1. All right, so this is level +1. And then same thing up here, number +1. Wait a second, and isn't this wrong? Huh. Probably is. Yeah, it must be. So if you beat this right now, it's going to say that you beat scenario 1. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, that was a bug. Okay, well, easy to fix. You just add 1. But how does the details section in the upper left look now? So now it says bone mode number 2. Yeah, you look at it, it says scenario number 2 farming. How does it look on the title screen? I'll take a picture of this so I don't need to keep bouncing back and forth. And then how does it look on the title screen? It says scenario number 2 : farming. Okay, so we should do that same thing. Scenario number 2 : title. And then within the tooltip itself, what do we got here? Current cumulative gold, current target time, scenario parameters. I think putting the scenario parameters up at the top might make a little bit more sense. So we take this and we move this up here. And then the rest of it can all be exactly the same. And then we probably just delete the note. I don't know who benefits from this. I think you'll realize how this works. Because technically that's what the word cumulative means. It means you can spend your money. It doesn't say target gold 3,500. Then you might think you need to end with it. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete that. Okay, so let's move the scenario parameters upward to here. Then let's delete the note. And then we can possibly get rid of constants. No, we're still using this. Okay, now we tried that. This is some, kind of minor cleanup stuff. I think it'll help some people. I think this one's mostly for spectators, although I did just fix a small bug there. So I'll click adventuring. We'll start this. Now it should say number 3 at the top left. Yep. Scenario number 3, adventuring. Scenario parameters. Start with 3 adventurers, all of which are given 3 battle perks. And then there's all your information beneath it. Current cumulative gold 0, target 4,500, target time. Okay, yeah. Pretty good. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to do for that. Yeah, so this is done and this is done. Let's go check it in. Improve challenge mode details. The scenario was off by 1. on the end screen. The scenario number and title didn't show in the details. And I deleted the note about cumulative gold. And I also rearranged some things. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. I don't think we need to be too descriptive in that commit. A very, very minor commit. All right, I think we need more perks to introduce synergies, redundancies, and ways to break the game. Codex said it feels like the economy route is the only way to go. Can we break that mold somehow? Didn't I have a bunch of these? I do. Okay, I'm going to move this whole thing down to the other part of this list where that appears. And I just tab back the ideas. All right, so all we're doing is deferring that one. Okay, figure out if we want to do 10 more scenarios that are just hard mode copies of the first 10. And we could add different difficulty twists to them. Not twists like what we used to have, but just twists as in it changes what you were doing originally. Things like customers don't tip. I don't think this is the most important thing to do right now. I want to be careful about how many times I move things down the list. But this is like a thing we just need to do before we launch. We don't really need to do it ahead of time, do we? I mean, at some point, it's all going to be we're just doing stuff before launch. But yeah, for now, I'm going to move this way down the list. And maybe we even put this in a like stuff that can be done later, or if we finish the rest of this list. No, this should just be its own section. This section is for items that aren't all that pressing now. So we should tackle other things on this list first. And then just move this whole section down to the bottom of the document. Cool. All right, so bug. On character selected is slow and is being called every time you grant a battle perk. So when you grant many at once, it feels laggy. Okay, I had an idea for how we could fix this. What is this thing called? Adventure panel tab. On character selected. Okay, so what I was thinking is that we just update, all this function does is it sets the adventure class. And then on the next frame, we actually do the updating. Yeah, so this should be pretty easy to mock up. But then I wonder if it's going to show like a one frame incorrect setup for this. How would that even... Whoa, where does this show? This is in the adventurer tab. So this is when you click adventurers and then select somebody. And yeah, I wonder if it's gonna have some lag to it. But I guess just continue game. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's like you click an adventurer. You should hopefully see the new information immediately. But I think it's going to take an extra frame to do this, right? How else could we do that? Well, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, let's mock it up and just see what happens. So everything that calls on character selected is bad. Oh, man. All right, what am I doing here? Guild supplies set selected adventure. What even is this? I see. Well, I need to look at where else we call set selected adventurer. Where do we do that? Well, where do we do that? Does it happen before this? It does? So this doesn't actually select them? I guess it's not called select character. It's just once you've selected a character. But why does it even take in the adventurer class then if it's always going to reflect whatever is selected in the character selector? That doesn't sound smart. Yeah, weird. This had no point in even taking in a thing. We could just say adventurer class equals character selector. And then does this have the selected class in it? Party section base. Selected adventurer class. Yeah, it's right there. That's strange. Yeah, I don't know why that was done that way. Is it public? Yeah, it's public. Oh, bizarre. Okay, well, let's delete that. Now let's go fix up these things. I guess the character selector itself is going to emit that class, which probably nothing else listens to anyway. Yep, nope, it doesn't. Okay, so let's delete that. So this is going to be this. I guess like that. Delegate does not take 0 arguments. It should. And then there's one other listener for this. And an emitter. There's the emitter. And now where's the other listener? Here. Okay. Any other callers of this? Yep. We don't need this apparently. There's also kind of a stupid way of doing things. Okay, so now this function will properly reflect what was done, and this should only be called if it's needed. That is going to be a bit more annoying to do. So like private bool needs update, rename me. I'm not going to come up with a better name now. So this is going to start as false. And when you do update, I guess we need like a prior selected adventure. Adventure class, last selected class. And this is going to start out being none, which is good. Okay, so now when you select something on character selected, we're going to say if the last selected class is not equal to the current one, then we need an update. And that's it. And then the actual updating of it happens from some other function. Private void, do the actual update, rename me. It's going to do this, and it's going to set this thing to false. Needs update false. Then in process, which we don't have a process in here. All right, override process. If needs update, do the actual update. I'm going to move this up here somewhere. Right there. All right, I think that'll do it. This is kind of a mock-up. We got to rename some things. This should fix the performance issues because now you can call this function like a million times and it's just going to set one variable. How do we test this for real, though? We've got to find some way to grant like 100 battle perks at once. But if I have multiple adventurers and I just click between them now, like I don't detect a lag time here. It looks like it's instantaneous. So I think it is taking an extra frame. Yeah, but it doesn't feel bad. So now let's try the whole grant a whole bunch of these battle perks. Will it be the next Minecraft? No, I don't think so. Hey, Benjuluist. And I've been thinking about this too. What's a game that just came out? Megabonk? Yeah, Megabonk just came out on Steam and it's doing fantastically. And obviously Minecraft came out a while ago and it's doing fantastically. I think these have a more universal appeal that's understandable at a glance. Maybe Minecraft is even more universal appeal, I'd say. But I think Skeleseller, at least the story mode, I think most people would probably have fun playing, but I think it's going to be hard to convince them to play. And files variable online, same exact code base. Yeah, it could be anything. It could be like a firewall is configured differently, or there's more latency between everything, so that triggers some like timeout. Because, yeah, there is some variable that's different. It might not be a variable in the code, but something's different about the setup. I think in some sense it's kind of fun hunting that stuff down when you're committed to doing it. But if it's just an incidental thing that's stopping you from doing work you wanted to do, then it's not as fun. Okay, so how do we test this? We got to give out like 100 battle perks. How do we do that? Let's look at the adventuring thing. I give out battle perks here, right? Yeah, number of perks to grant. And we go through every adventure that you have. So let's do this whenever you press page up, I guess. Unhandled input, page up. Okay, so I want this in here. So we're going to go through each adventure that you have. We're going to give you 300 perks. And we're going to do this stuff, I guess. What's the problem with this now? Cannot implicitly convert. What? What did I mess up? Why does it say tracker? Did I just do that? Oh, yeah, I'm trying to import this. Oh, my bad. I find this to be frustrating a little bit. Like I want this dialogue to, oh, you can do that? Okay, I don't think I knew you could do that. Whoops. All right. Well, then that's my frustration solved. I don't know if that was always possible. It's very hard for me to know. Did I try that a year ago and then just assumed, oh, it's never going to work? That's the problem with software bugs sometimes. You're disincentivized because of some past experience you had. You just got to get in the hands of a proper influencer, regardless of how good the game is. It'll sell fairly well. Yeah, I think it's a little easier said than done. And it's a bit spooky for me because I don't have experience with like I've made games before, but I don't have experience with if I pay X dollars to an influencer, what are the odds I get, you know, X plus Y, or rather, I guess like X times Y, and Y is greater than 1, hopefully. If you've made 10 games and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go spend $10,000 on an influencer. They're going to play the game for 2 hours. And yeah, I've done this enough and I realize I get $30,000 out of it. You'd be like, yeah, okay, it's a no-brainer. But I haven't done that. So I don't know what happens if I were to pay someone like a boatload of money and then I get like $3,000 back. That is a very quick way to burn money. I mean, this is how businesses work, right? You try to find a return on investment and sometimes they don't pan out and okay, whatever, you take the loss. But I don't really have it's not like the game's made money for me to be able to spend it yet. So these are the things that are a little bit scary for me right now. And I think at least from people who've played the game, the stats are good. The median time has been at 1 hour and 59 minutes now for a long time. And we're up to, I don't know how many, like 8,200 players or something like that who've tried the demo. You just go find those stats. So I think that's healthy, which does seem to indicate to me that if we were to put this in front of more people, they would probably just like it. Yeah, it's been about 8,400 people. The median time is, like I said, pretty healthy. But there were another 3,000 people who claimed the game and then just never opened it. I don't think that's a problem. There are going to be people who buy the game eventually who never open it. It's just a thing that happens. I think they either put money into one huge influencer or put smaller chunks into micro influencers. I think it all depends on the game and the budget, but I think that big games get as many influencers of any size that they can get. And there are now programs to support those sorts of things. Like Twitch has the bounty program where what happens is, for those who don't know, there will be a bounty. So I might say to them like, I want people playing Skeleseller. And I put up a bounty and I basically say, I'm willing to pay, let's say $1 per viewer per hour. So now what'll happen is Twitch will post on the bounty board, like for someone like me specifically, I might go there and they'll be like, okay, your average view count is whatever, 70, let's say. So we will offer you $70 if you maintain your average viewership. And now as a streamer, I go see this and I'm like, Okay, $70 to play a game for an hour? Yeah, sure, let's do that. And a bigger streamer might go there and see a number like, $800 to play this game. And I'd be like, you know what? I want to buy a new iPhone. Sure, let's go play a game for an hour. So this is a way of reaching many more influencers. But then I'm sure you've seen some of the big games or sites or VPNs or something where they just seem to sponsor everybody, and that there's no limit. It's pretty much just who's willing to accept it, because we just need to get the word out there enough. Not that many streamers or YouTubers who play variety games like this, and making others play this will not have that much return on investment. Well, I don't think there's a such thing as a variety game exactly. I think it's that you find people who play something in this genre, either auto battler or an idle game or a town management thing or kind of an RTS maybe. And you could stretch this a little bit, because some people may not know that they'd like this kind of game. But in general, I think if they like something like this, and there are a lot of YouTubers and influencers who cover these kinds of games, that I think Skeleseller would be a hit with them and their audience. Do you know how much money someone like a Vox size would take for a sponsored video on YouTube? I genuinely have no idea. It's kind of hard to say. So in general, at least the rule of thumb for Twitch was like $1 per live view per hour. So if you had 50 average viewers, you'd get about $50 per hour. I had someone who on YouTube, they're getting maybe like 250 views per video. These are not live views. These are pre-recorded videos. And they asked for $50. And to me, that sounded very high. Like for just 250 people to see something, they wanted $50. Because the way I look at it is, for Skeleseller to return that money back, let's say we charge 15, I get about $7 per sale. So it's just 250 divided by 7. We need 35 or 36 people to buy the game for that to be worthwhile. And I don't see that happening. Now, that doesn't mean they shouldn't still charge that. I think it's fine. It's just, that doesn't mean that it's part of the equation that I should find it to be suitable to purchase it. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know what, if you're getting, I mean, we could just go to their channel and find out what their sort of average view count is. Let me mute this so it doesn't just play stuff. Yeah, it's already muted. Okay, so they have 240,000 subscribers, although this metric means nothing, just to be clear, because it's all how much are their videos actually doing. And if we look at the past videos, it's like 7,000, 10,000, 7,000, 7,000, 30,000. It's kind of an outlier. 7,000, 20,000. Skeleseller. And so, yeah, I'd say the average view count here, just by kind of scrolling through pretty quickly, seems to be about 10,000. There are some outliers, but in general, a lot of them are kind of hovering below 10,000. Maybe they were a bit higher in the past. I think Avok themselves took a break for a long time or something. So, yeah, if you're getting 10,000 views on a video, I remember all this stuff is just, what is your sales funnel here? Of any number of people, X, you're going to get like Y who are actually going to make it to Steam, and then Z are going to wish list, and then, like A are going to follow up on the wish list, and then B of those will keep the game and not refund it. So each one of these keeps shrinking it and shrinking it. So yeah, I don't know what you could expect out of that. There's probably some stats online about this stuff. Now, I will say this, what's been kind of interesting is I reached out to a bunch of influencers, pretty much almost exclusively YouTubers, but there have been some Twitch streamers, and I've been just offering the game for free. So no money on top of that. And practically everyone you see on YouTube who's played Skeleseller, most of them are people I've contacted, not all of them. Actually, the biggest videos are not people I contacted. But like Idle Prince I contacted, Brag Apple I contacted, Plum Yeti I contacted. I'm pretty sure I contacted this person, but I don't fully remember because that's their actual name and not a screen name. Those are the same people. I contacted this person. I did not contact that person. And we could go through the list and everything. But my point is, a lot of people are willing to do this stuff for free and just cover a game that looks interesting to them. I wonder if any of these got a lot more views. No. Yeah, none of the videos do like, not none. Not a lot of the videos do fantastically. And I think some of this comes down to how much is this person who's making the video willing to market their own video. And it's not much effort for me to like read about this person, look at their videos a bit, send an email, but it doesn't necessarily pay off. And I eventually figured development is better than marketing at this point. Contact me. Do you stream or make videos at all? Typically the larger channels that require money. Yeah, because they're getting flooded by requests. It's kind of interesting to see, but some of the influencers I reach out to, if they've got less than like 200 subs, they'll kind of say something like, oh, it's nice that this channel is getting some attention. Like the creator of the channel will say that, oh, a dev is contacting me. But if you have more than, let's say, like 2,000 subs, you're probably like, oh, I get contacted too much. I don't want to keep doing this. Even me well, I would say I'm a small streamer on Twitch and a very small streamer on YouTube. I still get contacted every once in a while with sponsorships where I'm just like, man, I don't want to do any of this stuff. And like, I try to respond nicely, but if I had 10 times the volume of those requests, I'd just probably stop responding. Or I'd have some like template, hey, sorry, I'm not interested, or I'd probably get an agent or something like that. All right, so let's try this out. So we should be able to just make everyone turn into level 300. Okay, that definitely lagged. I don't know why that lagged exactly. I think because we gave out. No, yeah, why did that lag? Huh, I wonder what's taking time here. I mean, granted, I'm giving out 3,000 battle perks. But it like totally froze the game. This, by the way, should never happen. You should never get 3,000 battle perks. But I've got to profile it to figure out what's taking up this time. So let's set it to maybe 30. I don't want it to freeze for 50 seconds. I want it to freeze for a little bit of time so I can find out in the profiling what's actually slowing this down. He just gets a game for free, like you said. Sometimes they're sponsored. I guess he ignores a lot of emails, though, for sure. Yeah, and there's someone out there. Oh, man, what's her name? There's some big YouTuber who's talked about this stuff on their blog. Hang on, I could find out really fast. Engage privacy mode. Okay, give me a sec. I can find this. Yeah, here it is. Okay, Wanderbots. I'll link this in chat if anyone's interested. But this is an article they made back in 2024. A few days ago, I had this polite conversation with a developer saying, oh, I'd appreciate a no if I reach out to a developer. Anyway, this is like a long blog post saying, hey, here's how much I'm getting in terms of developers reaching out. And here's how you could make yourself stand out as much as possible. But in the end, it's possible that there's not much you can do. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's a good blog post for anyone who is ever curious about this or who's in the position where they have a game they want to market. Because, yeah, from your point of view, you might be like, well, I'm not getting too many emails per day, so maybe this person isn't either. And, like, why won't they respond to me? They might be getting a ton. Okay, so I'm going to do this. We're going to see if there's any lag. Definitely lag. How long does it last? Okay, long enough. Long enough for us to see. Is the lag getting worse as time goes on? Like, is this because of how I'm tracking perks? No, it looks like it's about the same static amount of time. You can see the UI freezing for a bit. Yeah, okay. So then let's go profile this. I never remember how to do this, so we're going to look this up here. .NET trace and then all this other stuff. All right, and this is path game. Okay, so let's copy this whole thing and put it into here and then make sure the game's closed. Perfect. I guess game dev is also sort of a content creator business. Yeah, you're in content creation yourself, right? And you probably get requests for these sorts of things, and probably you want to be nice in the responses you give to these people. I don't know. I always feel a little bit torn. I got someone emailed me recently saying, hey, I see you make a lot of content about like AI and open source. And I just thought, what? And I actually wanted to respond with like, what are you talking about? But I know what it's like on the marketing side of things. It's just cast a very wide net. You're not going to go research somebody for 10 minutes even. You're going to look at their content for like a half minute. And be like, yeah, they're probably a good fit. And then if they respond to you, you'll go look into them more to figure out, okay, who did I actually contact? All right, so we should have a speed scope file here now in the profiling folder. And now what we have to do is press F12, go to performance, and then click this button. Yeah, load trace. Malformed. The Intel string context variable ph1 was not provided. What? Oh, wait. Oh, my bad. What am I doing? We got to load this on speedscope.com or whatever it is. Speedscope.app. Yeah. I'm just being stupid. Where's profiling? Profiling. Where are you? There it is. Cool. I don't answer emails. Barely answer my WhatsApp messages. Your random fake sounding Instagram sponsor requests from scammy sounding AI companies. AI niche, it's not nice. Yeah. The AI niche makes the most sense that they'd be using AI to reach out to people too. I'm the kind of guy that would be nice to a bot before politely banning them, let alone saying no to a person. I think it's going to be harder to detect that people are bots. I had a very bizarre thing happen the other day that I don't think I talked about on stream yet. I have this notes site and I have like 1 billion notes. So if you were to click any one of these things, like, I don't know, this thing, Amazon leadership principles, what is this? Okay, anyway, I don't know what this even is, but let's say you found a typo in here. Like, one, no one's really looking at this note, but two, you found a legitimate typo. Like, that's something I should probably fix. So someone reached out to me and they said, hey, you have a broken link. This is what was funny to me. They said, you have a broken link, and it was this note. Do I even have it here anymore? Ah, here it is, placeholder images. Yeah, so there are sites that will, when you're doing web dev, will populate your site with like images of kittens or something like that, or just a blank thing that says this is 300 by 300. And it's nice to have those placeholder images. And I had a link here that was broken. So this person said, you have a broken link. Here's a good tool I found you could replace it with. And they linked to some site that supposedly generates these images. I don't know. I never even clicked it because the email ended up in my spam folder. But I looked and I did have a broken link. So like they did find the broken link. And I was like, okay, cool. I went and fixed it. So I turned it into this. If you have placeholder images you want, just click a link and it goes to Google and finds a site that's going to work because this is Google. Google is probably not going down in the next 10 years, but probably all these sites will at the top, like this placehold.co. So I changed it to this. And the person responded and they're like, oh, hey, cool that you changed it, but I don't see the link that I shared with you. And I was like, yeah, all these sites go down all the time. So instead of sharing a link to direct sites, I'm going to just share it to Google. And they said, oh, if you could put the link, it would really help me. And I'm like, hold on a second. You said this is a tool that you found. How would this help you? Like, this is where I was trying to like suss out what is the scam here. And then they made up some excuse about how they're doing their thesis statement and they're trying to like, I don't know, something about it didn't make sense. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is clearly a scammer. I don't think they're a bot. I think they're a human, but I think they're doing something nefarious here. And I thought I could either mess with them or I could just like let it go. And I decided to let it go, but I was very, very tempted to be like, okay, I've changed a link. Go take a look. Or what's your thesis? Can you share your thesis with me? I figure this is a waste of my time. They search for random links to advertise a weird service. Yeah. Yeah, it was just strange because like clearly this human was responding to me and checking the site again. And I just thought, what even, I never clicked the link. I still haven't to this day. So I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe the tool had an advertisement in it. Maybe it was trying to steal data or something. It could be any number of potential scams, but I don't know which one. And without knowing, I'm curious, like, what were they trying to do? Anyway, we got our breakdown over here of this. So now I got to figure out what's taking a bunch of time. And I ran this, I think, a couple times. So it's probably whatever this is. Wait, is it this? It didn't run for 32 seconds, did it? Either way, I should see a call at some point to... Is this taking this much time? This is 8% of the time. I can't unfortunately see what's underneath the cursor there. If I take a picture, does it have the cursor in it? No, it does not. It says 2.67 seconds. And this is all in max size container that's doing this? Send them a kit in the gauntlet. But that's if they're trying to get money or something. But yeah, I think that would be kind of funny. What is going on here? I should have probably had a timer open so I could see what I was doing. This is all the transition to scene stuff. Then I must have pressed page up. But wouldn't I see that in here? Canvas item? Credits on handled input. What? What is that? This probably isn't a performance problem, but what is this doing? Oh, if you press escape? Okay, sure. I wonder how I even entered that. Maybe I pressed escape. Oh, we're making like a whole bunch of perks. Okay, so it's probably this. Yeah, it is this. How do I zoom in on just this section? What do I do there? Okay, so we're calling like a million functions under here. I'd love to see what these are. How do you... I don't know what I'm doing. This is we're instantiating a scene for all of these things and then freeing them all. Probably a slightly better way of doing this. What is this site? Speedscope? This is just a profile analysis tool. So I took a trace of, where is this? I took a trace of me playing the game. So there's this net trace and Speedscope thing. And then I run it into this site and I can see what is taking the most time in Skeleseller. But I actually kind of think this is, I think this is a dumb way of going about things. I think what I should do is I should just grant like 10 perks to one adventurer and not all of the adventurers. So we just break after this. And if this is laggy, then I think we have a problem. If it's not laggy, I think we're fine. I always fail to make 100% sense of them. Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. Does it analyze code duplication? No. This is just for performance, excuse me. So what you see here is this is the function that was called, and it's under my cursor, so it's a little bit hard to see, but it shows the timing of these functions, and this is the call stack as well. So you would be able to use this tool to see that like, oh, that function is taking like 7 seconds to run. And that way you don't need to guess. I think one of the worst things you can do with performance testing is to just guess like, oh, that's probably what the problem is. And then you optimize and you're like, oh, it wasn't that. I guess I wasted my time. So if I just grant 10 of these at once, yeah, I don't feel any lag whatsoever. You can see this thing rising. You can see the bar in the background going smoothly. So granting 10 perks at a time is pretty fast. It's once we start granting like 20 or 30 that I guess it becomes a problem. And you can see numbers here that are ridiculous. Like you're never supposed to get to level 761 when your lifesteal is 3,100%. What does this look like to enter a battle now? This will probably break something. Oh my God. That's hilarious. The enemies don't even have a chance to attack. 16,000 DPS. Probably looks really funny on some other characters too. Oh, I only have the one character. Yeah, and it's only gonna ever pick that one. I am sort of curious what would happen if we got everyone to be that level of power. But the only characters we could do that with easily would be the rogue, the mage, and the archer. Taco Bandit, thanks for the resub. Almost at 1 year. All right, so there, we have 3,000% haste. What does this look like? Oh, wow, that's fast. They're even faster than the archer because there's no projectile, so they win in 0.4 seconds. Wait a second. The wave, oh, interesting. They won so fast that the wave 3 of 3 text gets cut off. So the first one happens, but then it doesn't have time to finish fading out. Oh, interesting. I don't know if we consider that to be a bug or not. Huh. Okay, I am kind of curious what the mage looks like when we do this. I know this isn't testing anything, but it'll be fun to look at. I can't get the mage though. The 1/3 chance, and it's been 4 times. There it is. Okay, so we're going to speed them up a whole lot. We're going to get them to 3,000% haste. And there. Wow, exactly 3,000. Wonder what the odds are of that happening. Yeah, so they just zap everything with lightning immediately. Their fireballs can't even reach the targets. All right, so this looks like it's working. I think all we need to do is just rename these functions. Yeah. So we can delete this code. Or you know what we could do? Well, yeah, I guess it's fine. What is this? Delete these. Okay, so that looks fine. That code needs to be changed. This code shouldn't be here at all. Choices. Yeah, just delete all this stuff. And then anything else? No, that's it. So we just got to go fix up this file. And really all we need to do is rename all the rename me things. It says needs update. Needs UI refresh. Updating the UI isn't, I'll just say, is somewhat expensive. So we only do this once per frame at most. Even with 3,000% speed, everything still works smoothly. Yeah, the game balance breaks down pretty rapidly though, because projectiles don't move any faster. So like the golem, for example, would probably still fight very slowly, even if they're ultra fast. But yeah, it's nice that the code isn't breaking. I think haste was coded differently a long time ago. Haste now is like X haste means go X% faster, but it did something else before. What did it do? I don't remember. I just remember there being some like infinite loop problem. I think maybe we lowered the cooldowns. I don't remember. All I know is it's not breaking now. So I'm very happy about that. All right, so this one's good. Now what other rename things do we have? Do the actual update. So like update UI. This function is somewhat expensive, but it's okay to, oh, well, no, it's not okay to call this multiple times. Don't call it often. So you probably should never call it and just leave it to I guess, process. Okay. Any other rename me's that are here? No. So what is the final diff that we have here? We added a Boolean variable and we have which class was last selected. Then in process, if the Boolean is true, we update the UI. And then everywhere that would have updated the UI in the past now just checks to see if we actually do need to refresh. Oh, isn't this wrong? Why are we even doing this part? Shouldn't I just set this to be that you need to refresh anyway? Yeah, I think this is wrong. I can't prove it from just this though, because this part clearly worked. Why, I don't know. But what if I got guild supplies? Oh, I can't do that. How do I do this? Need that. And then I need there to be a mage thing in here. Those are not mage things. Give me mage stuff. Oh, come on. There's a pretty good chance with all these treasure chests that we get at least one mage item. There we go. There's one. All right, so clear out all these other things. There. And now give me this one. And I want to drop this off. No, wait, I want someone to pick it up for me. So go pick that up. Good. And now we're going to hover over this. So actually, we're not going to touch anything. We're just going to see, does power go up from 857? It does. How is that? How is it possible? I don't know how that's happening. It's correct. I just don't get it. The only thing updating your power is here. Oh man, I don't get it. But this is why debuggers exist. So make a new game and get the treasure room again. And this one, we have all of the adventurers, so we don't need to get anything specific. We can just get any single item. So I'm going to speed this up. And just who's first? Okay, Spirit Caller. So we're going to look at the Spirit Caller. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Hang on. Stop it. We need to put a breakpoint here first. Update UI. There. Okay, so now I click the Spirit Caller. It'll break in. And then I wait for them to bring that brooch. And it must have just happened. So how is this possible? Needs UI refresh was true. But needs UI refresh is only ever set here. Oh, we never set the last selected class. Ah, okay, so yeah, this was pointless. So if I had set this, then I think it would break. Where do I even set this? Maybe here? Yeah, I think this is going to break now. I guess let's hit the play button and save this and reload. Yeah, and I think the solution is easy. We just get rid of last selected class. So what mode was I in? This one? And now I get a treasure. We just got to see whoever's going to make it there first. It's probably going to... Actually, I can't guess. Yeah, rogue. Okay, good. So rogue. We click the rogue. And we see their power is 166. I'm going to speed this up. It should never change from 166. Yeah, but if I click the rogue again, now it goes to 168. Yeah, so let's delete this. Video of kid talking about you taking notes while he's talking due to ADHD. He did bring up Battlestar Galactica in the middle, and then he started talking about that, and then he jumped to some other topic, and I'm like, what was the thing about Battlestar Galactica? And he's like, oh yeah, so anyway. It was pretty funny. Okay, cool. So this is even simpler code now. Yeah. Yep. And this doesn't even have to happen here, although I probably should. Okay, cool. So address performance issue with on character selected. It now happens at most once per frame. I did say what I said to him, though, about how it makes conversations interesting. I feel like... So, okay, I don't think I'm a bad conversationalist, but there is a certain category of person that I've run into in my life where we have like nothing to talk about. And we can't seem to find a topic that lasts for long enough just due to how our personalities intersect with each other. With Kit, that's never happened. We've always had something to talk about. He's a generally interested person. And because of him flitting from topic to topic, and because of me wanting to pursue whatever topic is talked about, we tend to talk for a while. It helps that he's a nice guy. I imagine if you were a jerk and you have ADHD, I probably wouldn't be like, yeah, let me try to follow these topics. I'd be like, I'm kind of just sick of this conversation. All right, so we fixed this. Next up, bug in bone mode. A customer wanted a blue potion and bought a cloak. I think they idled and that messed up their desired item somehow. They didn't even tip. Yeah, this, I don't know if I can even find a repro for this. This might be difficult. So what I want to do first is look at code and just see, can we tell through the code? A refined methodology. Yeah, part of that is just the habit I get into as a streamer. Like, I gotta explain this stuff. Okay, where do customers idle? Let's go to customer and search for idle and look at what this is doing. So when they leave, we set that they're no longer standing. We don't do anything with desired items in here. Nothing in here should affect that. But we could put them back in a customer wander. So can they enter the idle state if they want an item? How does that look? Run idle check. And if they want an item, what do they do? Run buy check. Consider buying. Where's the desired item stuff? Can seek specific item. Seek specific item, okay. So once we're in this state, we try to find an item and then we add a thought bubble. And while they're in here, they can either go to leave town, they can go to buy item, or they can wander to a specific location. What does this do? Oh, I see. This is within this state. Where's the reach target thing? I think it's all in here. Yeah, here it is. Just remove this. Seriously? Huh. So they wander around. And at some point, they can go into buy item. How do they leave this otherwise? They just don't. Interesting. I'm talking to someone for 4 hours, or I can't stand them and want to leave immediately. Do you consider yourself extroverted? By the way, for me, because sometimes I feel the need to define these things. To me, the difference is just, do you get recharged around people or not? So for me, the answer is no. So I'm an introvert. That's what I would classify this as. But this does not mean anything about like, do you enjoy social interactions? Like I can still have fun talking to someone, and then at the end of the conversation, still feel like I need to take a nap. It doesn't happen with everybody. But yeah, I think extroverts they're like directly fueled by talking to people. So the desire to talk to people seems a lot higher. Okay, so I don't see a way for a customer to want a specific item and somehow end up idling. It doesn't seem possible. Can you even enter this idle state from any other way? Wander does it, and that's it. Yeah. So that means that maybe something else must have broken, and I would not have a way of fetching that now unless my logs were kept around for that long, which I'd be pretty surprised about. They should be one folder up. They're all from today. Yeah, it probably has a circular log set of files that you can have. None of these are even that large, so I'm not going to look in them. It definitely wasn't today that this happened, and these are all like a kilobyte or 2 kilobytes. So yeah, it's not going to get you anything helpful. Not antisocial. I talk to people well, but after a long day of talking to people, I need to get away. I'm going to snap. Yeah, I've always kind of wondered, how does streaming contribute to this for myself? Because I am kind of talking all day, but it's not really to anyone in particular most of the time. I always thought I was an introvert because I have many indoor hobbies, but I realize I get very energized from giving a talk at conferences or teaching. It gives me life energy, but depletes my people energy after a few hours. I see. Life energy. Yeah. I wonder what energizes me. I haven't really put too much thought into that, I guess. But you are talking to someone, you're talking to us? Yeah, yeah. I just mean most of the time it's not to someone specifically. Like I'm narrating what I'm doing a lot of the time. And I guess I'm narrating that for the audience, but it's not really for the audience. It's mostly just to keep myself on track and have something going on. All right, so I don't have a log of this. I can't figure out how it happened through code. So the only other thing we could really try at this point, there are kind of two methods we could do. One is add logging, which, yeah, I don't know where we'd even add it. And two would be to try to reproduce this. What I suspect happened is that a completely unrelated exception occurred and then caused a customer to get into a weird state. Or like maybe they sought out a key or something like that. I just don't know. I don't know how we would test that. I'll make a new game. We'll click grant most things. I'll make the treasure room and the key grinder. I'll do this and then that. I want these in the warehouse specifically. And then these end up in the warehouse. So customers are coming by. And we can get more customers. And they don't want anything now because I haven't found any items. So if I click grant items, or you know what, better yet, let's do this. Let's go to the volcano. That'll give us enough items where, there. So we just got 3 types of items, right? We got a blue potion, a yellow potion, and a cloak. So now customers will start to desire those things. This person wants a yellow potion. And eventually we should see another one want something. But never treasure or a key. Let's speed this up. Actually, let's just have them keep fighting there. Why not? There, they want a blue potion. So we're just going to have this run over and over. Hopefully they get their yellow potion. They got it. I'm guessing the blue potion person got theirs. There's another person who wants a yellow. They got it. So we just let it run pretty much forever. Someone will eventually want a cloak. I'm not seeing it happen. They want a yellow potion. They want a yellow potion. Huh. Wonder why it isn't happening. I would think there's a 1/3 chance of it happening, and I've seen like 6 potions, but no cloaks. Another potion, another potion. Oh, there we go. Okay, 2 people wanted cloaks in a row. Yeah, so that's all fine. What had happened before is that maybe this had to do with impulse buying. Revolves around, does your energy go up or down? Oh, wait. Oh, I missed Galaxy Inferno's message. Absolutely adore talking to new people and getting to ask them a million questions, learning new things about them. I also talk to my friends on phone calls when we meet for 8 hours. Not kidding. But small talk about the weather is the death of me. So does that make me an introvert or just a weirdo extrovert? I don't think small talk is meaningful. Like I think everyone has certain values. Like what and I guess values for themselves and then values for other people. Or values in other people, I guess. So like when I'm talking to someone else, I like some amount of authenticity, some amount of social awareness, and what else? I guess some intelligence too. I guess these 3 things if I'm going to talk to kind of anybody anywhere. And I don't know why the inauthenticity bothers me in some people. It's like one of the things this is kind of ironic, but something I sort of dislike is self-categorizations, positive self-categorizations of people. Someone saying something like, oh, I'm great at X, so, and then they just talk about something else, I don't know, whatever it is that falls from that. And I always think like, are they? Is that just their perception of themselves? Like imagine you're meeting someone and it's something you can't verify. Like I'm an expert scuba diver or something. It's like, well, unless you're meeting in a body of water, you're probably not going to be able to tell whether or not they are. Anyway, this is very sidetracky here. I'm great at being me. Fight me. Well, I'm great at fighting, so I'm gonna win. Like when people are reflecting on themselves in the world, like you are right now, analyzing, creates great conversations. Yeah, and I like having the sort of free flowing philosophical conversations, somewhat grounded in reality sometimes. Hey, hello. Should probably call you Rufio and not hello. But a perception of yourself could be both true and authentic. Yes, it definitely could be. I suppose there was an implicit thing that I did not state there, which is that I've found sometimes that people's view of themselves is not totally correct. And sometimes it is something verifiable. Like imagine if someone said like, "Oh, I'm very graceful," and you've seen them drop 2 things that day. You'd be like, "Are they joking? Like, do they consider grace to be something different from what I've seen?" Yeah. All right, so I still haven't figured this out, but impulse buying could be what's happening here. Let's take a look at this. Where do we do this? In town? Yeah, make customers impulse buy. How does this work? Force impulse buy. Handle buying item. Could this have done it? Animate item being taken, get the town, figure out how much money, play the sound. This does not cause it to leave the state though. None of this stuff does it? Strange. So it probably wasn't this? Huh. Seems like it's referring to a subjective truth, you know? Like maybe what Grace. Yeah, definitely. No, I could fully see that. But I think it starts sowing seeds of distrust when you've only just met someone. Uh, I feel like all of this is coupled with a kind of interesting phenomenon nowadays where anyone you meet could be in your life for the rest of time. And like you choose whether or not that's the case. But this wasn't always true. But now we have the internet, and like pretty much every single person you're ever going to meet is going to have a phone. And you could just call them whenever you want, right? So if they move halfway across the world, you'd be like, oh, well, we'll still find a time we can talk. But at some point in history, there was no telephone. And at some point in history, I imagine getting a letter to someone in a different country was probably impossible, or only for the very wealthy or something. So like, I think there's this inherent like you have to be a little bit picky about the people you're going to be talking to, knowing that every single new person you meet could be someone who's just in your life forever. And if they are, you're going to eventually have like 10,000 people, and you can't be in touch with 10,000 people. So yeah. Um, anyway, yeah, like I said, I do recognize the subjective nature of that. And even that we might have the same agreement on the definition and just have different levels of importance. Maybe they misspoke. Could be anything. Yeah. Okay, so I cannot see a problem just by looking at the code here. There is one thing I want to test, and this is going to be maybe a little bit hard to do unless maybe I change seek specific item to enter the state earlier than they should be able to. Consider buying. Here it is. There's a percent chance that they want to get one. We're going to up this to 90%. Yeah. So now they should pretty much always want items. Now we go into the town generator and we get impulse buying to be one of the only things that's allowed. So I guess do that and get rid of all of these. Cool. Well, let's go test it. I don't even care if they're right about themselves. Yeah, I think there are times when it's relevant. You know, imagine if you were having a debate about chess strategies or something, and they're like, well, actually, I'm a grandmaster. You'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, you probably know more than I do. Yeah, my opinions are probably not as valid here. Yeah, there are times that I could see that mattering, but I think there's a graceful way to do that in a conversation. Okay, I'm in the situation I want to be in. Customers will now desire items that I find. I want to get all the adventurers. I want to level up at least one of these a bunch. I'll just click a bunch of times and hope that it gets me, someone to like level 2 or 3, and I get a couple of these. There we go. Okay, that's enough. And now we go send a few people in the volcano. This will get us what? Oh no, we can just send them into the forest. We just need a few items. In fact, yeah, that's more than enough. And then we need something else. We need the enchanter. There. And then we need impulse buying. Yeah, they want a cloak. They want a bow. Great. But I want impulse buying. Where is impulse buying? Come on, give me impulse buying. There it is. Okay, now we go cast the spell when someone wants an item. So they want a blue potion. We turn this off. Now we get them their blue potions. And then I'm going to cast this while they want the blue potion. Come on, walk over there. There. Okay, gave them the item, but it didn't change their behavior at all. There's actually a different bug where that should satisfy their desired item thing. All right, so that's working fine. The next thing I want to try is what happens if they want that item and we don't give them that item. So now what I want to do is, no, I want to stop that. Okay, we turn this on and I get rid of this for them. And now they walk up here, hopefully, at some point. I need them to go near a shop, any shop. Yeah, nice, walk over there. Good. Now I click this and they buy a bow. Yeah, but they still want a potion. What happens if I give them a potion now? It's this pink-haired person we're looking at. Yeah, everything's fine. So I don't know how this could have happened. It happened on stream. I don't know what time. We're not going to go searching through like 15 hours of VODs to try to figure out. And even if we did, I don't know what it would do for us. So I think we just chalk this up as I can't repro it. And if I ever see it happen again, I'll try to pay attention at the time. But yeah, that's kind of sad. Would have liked to have just found it. I guess I'll save the game just in case. I guess I'll write this here. I can't reproduce this, nor can I figure out through code how this could have happened. Impulse buying doesn't seem to interact with desired items at all. The only way to enter the idle state is... Well, actually, maybe the idle state was a red herring. Maybe it had nothing to do with this. It's from wandering around, which means you can't desire an item. Wait, unless we save that. I didn't think about that. Do we? Oh, do we? Oh wait, how do we test this? I just save right now and then quit. That yellow customer, yellow-haired customer wants an item. What does that look like? CM save.json. Desire. No, we don't save that. Where do we save customers? We don't even save customers. Oh. Yeah, we just save the number of customers. Yeah, okay, I don't know then. If this ever happens again, I'll just write, my hunch is that there was an unrelated exception that happened from within a state or a state transition that put us into an invalid code path, essentially. I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, so let's X that out, I guess. All right, small bug. If you have a story mode save file, but no challenge mode save file, and click story mode and then challenge mode, you'll see two dialogues. What do we want to do to fix this? Also, I guess we just close out of all this stuff. Yeah. What time is it? Yeah, it's about lunchtime. I'm gonna probably get going soon and then come back in the afternoon after I've had lunch. But I'll take a look at this really fast and we'll at least talk about it even if I don't fix it. So the issue is this. You can click story mode, a dialogue pops up, but then you click bone mode. Well, okay, I guess we need to delete our save file for that. rmcmsave.json. Okay, yeah, the repro is that you only have one save file, not two. All right, so you click story and then you click this and it pops up that dialogue. So option one is if you click story mode, well, how about this? Let's just keep it simple. Clicking bone mode would hide the first dialogue. And I like that option. Option two would be you can't click bone mode because the dialogue is modal. I'm leaning toward this. Is there any other option we have? That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know what else you do, right? You're in this state, you either stop you from clicking another button, or when you click another button, you just hide this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to option one. But like I said, I think that's a post-lunch thing. I've been streaming now. Wow, actually longer than I thought. 3 hours and 36 minutes. So I will go get some food. I'll be back. Andy back in about an hour or so. Maybe a tiny bit longer. The weather's actually pretty nice, and I think my wife is home right now, and I'd like to go on a walk if I can. So I'll get some food, maybe go on a walk, be back by like 1:15 maybe. And I'll probably be back for about 2.5 hours. And we're just going to keep working through this. So far, by the way, if anyone wants a count, I will tell you. Let me archive this stuff. And that way we can figure out our burn down rate for this morning. And that'll be kind of interesting. Okay, so we're going to leave the word archive there. But otherwise, let's take a look. Word count. Okay, never mind. we have not gotten rid of anything. It's actually grown since we started. How is that possible? 15,306. Yeah, we started with 15,035. 15,306. Oh no. I don't know how that's possible though. I mean, I added like a sentence here, but I deleted a bunch of stuff, right? Oh man. Yeah, oh man. Okay, well, we're making progress, just the numbers don't show it. Thank you, Galaxy Inferno. All right, well, take care, everyone. I will hopefully see you in the afternoon. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Ciao.